This episode is brought to you by Farm Bureau Financial Services, Zach Miller Agency. If you're looking for an insurance agent with a personal touch, someone willing to have the real conversations about what's important to you, assistance with submitting claims, and offering quality coverage options, Farm Bureau Financial Services, Zach Miller Agency may be the place for you. Whether you need home, auto, farm, commercial, life, or health insurance, we're here for you. Check us out at agentzachmiller.com. Farm Bureau Property and Casualty Insurance Company, Western Agriculture Insurance Company.
My next guest is a friend of the show and has been here before. It was one of my favorite episodes and still is to this day. Dr. Nuno, thanks for making time to be here today.
Appreciate it.
No problem. We've been trying to get this for a while.
I know. Less jitters this time, too, so
That's good.
get a little bit more used to it. So
There you go.
appreciate it.
Yeah. I'm Zach Miller with my co-host Vance.
Thanks for coming on again.
Yeah.
We are touching base with Dr. Jose Nuno today. Welcome back.
Appreciate it. Glad to be back. Sweet setup.
Thank
This is
you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I've been saying this for a year now. We need to get some stuff on the wall.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think
One of these days.
Yeah.
By 2026, we should have
Yeah.
something there.
Yeah. Give me till 2030.
you remind me of that movie where, was it with Farva?
Oh,
What's
Super
that name of
Troopers?
that?
Officer,
What's the name of that place with all the
Goofy
Shenanigans.
shit on the wall.
shit on the wall?
Shenanigans. Ooh.
That's funny. Yeah,
So,
we've been debating on getting rid of the table and doing some nice chairs for people to sit in. And that's why I haven't put anything up yet, because I don't know where we're going to
yeah.
put the chairs and stuff yet. So
It's just nice table.
yeah, it wasn't too. We bought it really cheap. It's not the greatest thing, but it worked for what we needed, and it had the grommets for the microphones and stuff. So
Yeah.
it kind of worked out.
Yeah. I mean, you got to start somewhere. So,
Yeah. Our thoughts were kind of like a cigar lounge feel.
Yeah, that's
You know,
what we
that
wanna
type
do.
of,
that would be.
not really. Obviously, that's not what would be here, but that feel of it just
I thought about putting in ventilation for
for cigars.
having cigars down here.
Just like
Still could.
podcast / humidor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That'd be sweet.
That would be fun.
Have some whiskey on the background.
There you go.
Yeah, we did this pretty well. We have the bathroom right there, so we got 2 doors to the bathroom, and makes it kind of nice we can kind of do everything in here.
Right.
Yeah.
No, it's
Not have to leave.
perfect setup.
Thank you. So it's been over a year. You were here November of 23, which
Wow.
is hard to believe,
Right.
at the old studio / my office.
Right.
But
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you were my first interview.
I think
That was
so.
my first episode that I was on, was the one that you were on.
Yeah.
Because that would have been the third one that we recorded.
I think so.
'Cause
Second released, but third recorded.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome seeing you guys evolve from when that happened to watching your shows and your level of comfort and your confidence. You could really see it's awesome.
I appreciate it.
Looks legit. So when I listen to you guys and I see the videos, it's like, oh, this is awesome. Because then you see and compare
we're not
it to other.
completely faking it. We're just partially faking
Yeah.
I
it.
mean, it's natural. It's roles. You guys
Yeah.
have a really good relationship, so it makes it easy to
I
watch.
hate this guy. I don't know what you're talking about.
Makes it easier to watch. The other podcasts are like,
We're good
"Ugh."
actors.
Yeah.
We're pretty good on camera.
No, that's
No.
good. We've the nice thing we've been told, we've stayed consistent.
Yes.
We've had I think we've only missed a few weeks without having an episode, and it's been tough, but it's fun.
Wife's
Just like
handling it
anything.
okay?
Yeah,
That's good.
she enjoys it that we're here
Yeah.
now that we're
Sure.
home.
Right.
He still has to leave his home to come here, but at the time he was a single dude, so
Yeah.
It was
Wasn't-
all right.
Wasn't too bad.
yeah,
Now it's a little bit different. It's been different.
yeah.
It's actually the one thing I didn't realize was when we chose to do Thursday on useless assumptions is there's a lot of sports on Thursdays.
Oh,
and
sure.
we've done like we were doing touching bases on Mondays and now Wednesdays, and there's sports on Mondays and Wednesdays too. And that's been hard to get over, especially when I was single too, because like Nebraska basketball, I didn't miss a game.
Yeah.
I've missed quite a few, but they're bad this year, so who cares?
So how was your 2024?
I think for the most part, we had some challenges, but we also had some, positive experiences, both in the clinical level as a practitioner and also as an investor. So I think 2024 year was a good productive year. So I learned a lot, and I'm still learning every single even minute on business endeavors, building relationships, networking. And so, no, a good learning year. Going into 2025, definitely taking a lot of what I've learned and continuing on. And that's from a personal, business, and family, since we added a 4th child.
Wow.
Last year.
Has that been
how you guys
difficult
do
with
it.
that, with the two of you being there all the time and then having the kids?
So we have a 5-year-old, 3-year-old, 2-year-old, 10-month-old.
Oh, goodness. How do you guys do it?
Josie should be on here. She would give her all the credit.
You don't do it, she does it. she handles it, and you're just along for the ride.
Yeah, we're blessed. We have a nanny.
I was going to say, do you have somebody helping out?
We do.
That's
we have
good.
a nanny. She's amazing.
It's about the only way to do it if you guys are both at the clinic all the time.
Yep. She cooks. She helps clean. She helps take care of the kids. And so it's a blessing. With
Full-time nanny or?
Full-time nanny.
That's good.
Yep. So it's. I think we wouldn't have as much free time as the little free time that we have, but
Right.
Yeah, it gives us opportunity to grow and kind of step away a little bit, but then catch a breath a little from kids.
Definitely.
Little animals. Sometimes, so.
Did it take a while to find somebody for that spot?
Our interview process is pretty extensive, yeah. So we had high standards and
Got it, right?
Yeah, with having them be your kids, and we wanted to be able to expose our kids to like-minded individual, but then also have some give and take. But I think we found the right person. But yeah, Apollo is 5, and it took us the first nanny we had, it took us almost like 2 years, just trying to find someone right.
Wow.
So it was pretty lengthy.
That's great. You guys looking to have more?
We do have a farm. I am Catholic and Christian, so
So you're still going. So you're still going.
So, or wait, was it Catholic and Hispanic? Never mind.
Yeah. Catholic and Hispanic.
Catholic and Hispanic. Deadly
Is she
combo.
Catholic? What's her?
So she's Christian, and then she has 6 in her family.
What's
6
her nationality? Or in the background,
as far as
we're German, Irish.
I think she's some German and probably Irish.
Yeah,
Probably,
I was gonna say,
Irish is definitely.
I was gonna
be
guess
lots
Irish,
of kids.
but-
yeah. Her last name's Clark.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's Irish.
I was just
Irish,
going off
Her
The
maiden
red hair.
name, I
Red-
guess.
the hair,
the red hair. Yeah.
Yeah, that would.
Some of that rubbed
Irish
off on me.
Catholics. My mom came from an Irish Catholic family, and they had 8 kids. So
Were you gonna say some of that rubbed off on the kids?
We have some red. I think a little redhead, a little Apollo, but I always tell her, if it happens, it happens. I think maybe one of them was planned. So the rest just.
That's the way to do
we
it.
call them vacation babies because literally every one of them, I think, happened on a vacation.
That's how our first one
What
happened.
Other time do I have?
Ours was Vegas.
Right.
Not everything stays in Vegas.
That's
I can
right.
tell you that.
that movie. What's that movie? 4 Christmases. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Where they name all the boys are named after the town. You got
town.
Dallas and Phoenix, Philadelphia and Orlando.
That's good. So outside of the home life stuff, anything new going on at your practice?
Yes, we are kind of transitioning and kind of opening up the doors to different types of approaches to care. And they call it functional medicine. So it is something that we're trying out and still learning. So essentially trying to be able to have different modalities to treat specific problems. And so the opportunity that we would give a patient would be to kind of assess and determine if there's any sort of improper imbalances of, electrolytes or minerals, or if there is a overproduction of a bacteria in their gut that's leading to specific issues, or maybe it's a metabolic issue, maybe it's an insulin resistant issue. So instead of a knee-jerk reaction to prescribing medicine, it would be to hopefully offer opportunity to give treatment that helps to support that system that just needs a little bit more help. And then hopefully that'll thank you by starting to kind of work again. So
Yeah, I think you were just kind of starting into that when we
yeah,
recorded last, right?
Yep,
Because
I
wasn't that a lot of Josie was getting into that.
Yeah, Josie took some classes. She's still kind of learning, and I took a lot of interest to it since I drive 8 hours a week. So I'm like, what am I gonna do besides listen to you guys?
Yeah.
Like, what else could I do?
Of course.
I'm gonna start learning.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
So yeah,
I like the functional medicine side.
yeah, it's unique. It's definitely not for everybody, which is understandable. But I think if you're given the opportunity, at least have that open mind and then at least share that information and that knowledge, and you'll be surprised with how many people just have that aha moment, like, oh, so I have high blood pressure. You mean you're not going to put me on a blood pressure med? It's like you could potentially treat it this way. So it's definitely unique and more common than you think. It's usually not a heart problem. It's usually a deficiency of some sort.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool.
Have you been doing some of those genetic testing that we were talking about?
Yeah, and I need to get you guys set up.
Mhm.
So that's something. You know what I thought? I'm like, I should just have brought the kits here and just phlebotomize you on the show.
You should have.
I know. I
Perfect.
thought about
That would almost
Cue the nurse.
It's hard to
Yeah.
know. It's hard to know which one would be better to do the test on the podcast or to read the results.
We could
on
do
the
both.
we
podcast.
could do both.
There you
Yeah.
go. Yeah, that'd be fun too.
Or you guys just need to bombard my clinic and just get drunk. Honestly. Just
Come
Hurry
on.
up.
Come
Let's
on.
get
Get
it
me set up.
figured out.
Yeah. No, I think that'd be cool. I am definitely willing. So yeah, new things is methylation testing, which is what I was kind of touching on. And then more, I'm really interested in doing gut microbe testing. Have you guys heard of that?
I've heard of it, but
Heard of it.
can you explain it a little bit?
Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff that happens in our gut that's crazy. So one of those really common ones is, I'm sure you guys have seen the rise of mental health being kind of on the more of the, seeing a lot more of people who higher suicide incident rates and a lot of mental health that comes through. And so
We see a lot of mental health problems on our other show.
so yeah.
I have a different view on mental health. I'll keep that to myself.
No,
for
but
this podcast.
that's
I
actually,
think mental health is fake in my not fake, but people just need to be stronger in my opinion.
so there
mentally
is,
stronger.
so that's the whole concept of the way this approach is taken is maybe it's not an emotional problem, maybe it's not a actual behavioral problem. It's literally a deficiency that's creating those symptoms. And so that's the whole point of doing this test is what if there was some issues with the production of serotonin or dopamine, and you fix that, and then it's like, whoa, I'm not feeling that way or thinking that way. So it's just crazy what your mind can do without having, I mean, you can see if you saw someone that was high or on drugs, their brains are just a whole different person. So imagine if you can increase the natural hormones that are the happy hormones, and voila, the person's not stressed or depressed. And it's not because of nature versus nurture. It's literally not something that because they're environmental. But so you do these testing to check, and it's you always see these people, and it's time and again where they have these overgrowths of these crazy bacterias or yeasts or fungus, or they have these overgrowths and toxins, and then you get rid of them, and then all of a sudden they've treated a lot of issues. So
This is all coming from the gut biome stuff?
yeah, because
Really?
serotonin is made in the gut.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and that's the part that
Yeah, I
you
didn't know
need,
that.
and medications are geared towards that. And so just stuff like that, it's kind of interesting to learn and read and actually see in your patients. So it's kind of cool.
Could that be
You do
why?
a poop test, check
Yeah.
it out. Yeah, so it's like either a stool test or a urine test. It's called oats testing, and then you do GI mapping. It's called a GI map, and yeah, you could determine a lot of potential issues.
So you like playing with shit?
Playing with poop. Yeah, exactly. My nurses play with crap. They get so upset.
I'm sure.
What if? Yeah, I was just
It's like, dang it, another one, Jose. Like, yeah, you got to save lives,
Gotta
even if it means
save
playing
lives.
with poop.
Do you see a lot of like you talk about the yeast and the buildup in the gut?
It's
Is that
crazy? Yeah.
yeah?
It used to be a kind of even when you go to school and learn, you don't talk about that stuff at all, and just the amount of overgrowths of a lot of things, it's very prevalent. So
How does that deal with like cortisol levels?
it
things like
affects a lot. So I mean, it's imagining everything in your body is either a biofeedback or it's a to B to C. And so if you happen to prohibit any of that, you're going to have some sort of symptom, you're going to have some sort of deficiency, you're going to have some sort of breakdown, and in turn can affect your metabolism, could affect your adrenal glands with your cortisol, Zach, like you're kind of
Because that can cause you to not lose weight, right?
high
High cortisol levels.
high cortisol levels, like us folks who work nonstop, can definitely affect cortisol. Yep, your adrenal glands. And
Stress affects that too, right?
it does. Yep, lots of different things.
Is that why I'm fat, Jose?
I think you're just big boned.
I prefer fluffy.
Fluffy. Yeah.
I like to call
So-
myself fluffy.
We do check cortisol levels in our patients to assess for contribution, but more so than not, I'm seeing a lot of resistance in insulin. That's kind of higher prevalence.
And is that due to, what's that due to?
So a lot of it is our foods. It's realizing that foods can create glycemic index spikes, which is really important to know because certain foods can create that effect. And that's how your pancreas will respond, is based on how foods interact with your body. So
And that's
imagine,
where insulin is. Okay.
yeah, and that's how you can create disease. And so imagine a food that can create a high spike in blood sugar. Well, your pancreas has to respond to that. And having those waxes and wanes all the time with foods can then affect the normal processes.
It's just so good, though.
it's amazing.
Just give me a pill to take care of that. I'm that guy. I'm like, nah,
Which is why I treat and I do hybrid medicine. So there's a time and place. Yeah, if there's some sort of, it's all researched and
Yeah.
evidence based.
No, I'm just giving you shit.
I
love food. So.
We were just talking before the show that my wife and I went carnivore.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, there's been a few times where we cheat a little bit, not too often, but I haven't seen a whole lot of results from it. So I don't know if there's something else going on or who knows. But
Yeah, probably. I mean, it even comes down to the sauces or the marinades you use.
yeah, we've been trying not to do a whole lot of that. Just butter.
Your sleep?
Sleep has not. When I started the diet, the sleep was starting to get better.
Yeah.
And then stress got entered back into the equation.
Yeah, definitely.
It seems to always come back to that.
Yeah. Sleep or stress. One of those two.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. It's a good response to have, but an excess can lead to high cortisol, which then can affect your metabolism, which is what we slowly lose with age, I guess. But I guess it could be kind of improved. Have you guys heard of NAD?
NAD?
Yeah.
I have not.
It's a
Maybe
I knew
have,
it.
but-
Like that was a vitamin back in the day. Like they had that when I was at.
kind of.
I don't even remember what it is when I worked at the GNC. We dealt with that.
Yeah. So
A lot of people used
What
it.
is it?
it's a compound that's produced naturally in our body, and it plays a major role in how metabolism happens in our body. And so that they say that's one of the main factors in people 30 and above when we start noticing, like they go from going to the buffet and eating like animals and not gaining a pound to like eating a piece of cheese and you're like 50 pounds more. I know.
That's me. I
It's
can
like,
eat
what?
really well, and I see all these people eating McDonald's every day. I'm like, they don't even
Doesn't
gain
that
a
make you
pound.
mad?
I eat one piece of bread and I'm dead.
So if you check out those people and you do labs, you see that their levels are so low, and by association, they don't have high metabolisms, and so that's kind of slowly being incorporated in our practice. And so I'll have some pretty interesting analytics and data with my patients and seeing how they fare with even their biological age versus their chronological age, and seeing their labs and seeing overall.
Because that comes from that testing we were talking about, right? The biological age.
Yep. And kind of tell you when you're going to die, Zach.
Oh, wait, I don't. Yeah, sure.
I'm already dead. Like I've been sick since the beginning of December, and I'm pretty sure I have everything. I have influenza A, B, C, D, whooping cough, walking pneumonia. I'm pretty sure I have IDGAF, HIV, AIDS. It's all of it.
Got 'em all.
I'm about to die. I'm pretty sure within the next month. So if we're gonna do this testing, we should probably get on.
We do need it. I've been slacking. It's my fault.
Is NAD an acronym, or is that actually what it is?
It is an acronym.
Is it?
See if I can do it.
I can look it up too if I have to.
Yeah, it's nicotinic adenosine dinucleotide.
Well, you got it, so we're good.
I definitely wouldn't have been able to tell you the words. I just remember.
So you
I
think
mean,
I need to
that
take
was
some of that?
something.
Is what you're
Yeah,
saying?
so they have a spray now. They have tablets.
Spray?
Yeah, you can
Really?
just
Interesting.
spray oral tablets liquids. I think the highest absorbed rate and your best bang for your buck is the IV.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Sounds expensive.
Mainline heroin.
I'm just gonna be coming to you for everything and just be
Zach, why are you having all these-
Mainline. Let's go. Let's go. Ooh, we're getting some track marks here. Let's go
I was
to the
gonna
other
say all
one.
these track marks aren't going to be from
yeah
recreational stuff.
No, that's funny. Yeah. What else? What else is there? We were gonna on your practice. Oh, Columbus.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Because I kind of looked on your website, or I saw it on Facebook, or I don't remember what I saw, but it's a prescription or a subscription model, right? Is that kind of what it is?
Yeah, it was birthed with the hopes that we could do a fee for service or membership based practice, and so the goal with that was to encourage people to be associated with a medical practice that acknowledges the fact that they're not a number, and if they become a member of the practice, we are wholly invested in who they are, and that also entails doing a pretty invasive workup to determining if there is any sort of diseases that could be managed. And so the membership practice would take away that concerns with using insurance and meeting deductibles and having to pay co-pays, and you would just come on we would actually encourage you to come because we would want to make sure that you're getting taken care of.
Utilizing your membership.
Exactly. So that was the whole concept of and why we opened up Anthem Medical in Omaha and now in Columbus.
Oh, it was Omaha. I said Fremont, but it was Omaha.
Mm-hmm. Omaha is our first branch, and now we're in.
Are you thinking about doing that here, or are you just gonna?
Yeah, it's definitely on the on our radar. I think the proof of concept in Northeast Nebraska will be Columbus for us to see how receptive it is. I was given an opportunity for a location that was already kind of built to suit for a medical office, and so I thought it was perfect for it.
Yeah, makes sense.
Is it something that's like a HSA available or whatever it's called, HSA?
HSA.
Oh yeah,
Health Savings Account.
But they'll pay for that. That's on there.
It'll be
They're
eligible.
fine with that.
Yep,
Yeah.
you could use HSA. Yeah, we would make it and write up anything that would qualify as a HSA qualified visit. Yeah, because it would be medical.
Is it something that like would be beneficial to companies dealing with?
That's what we were trying to do, is try to get an employer to join with us, and then that's a goal, and that would be a hope of us is to find an employer and
Help them limit some insurance costs, maybe.
right. And
That
then
would almost be more proof of concept, right? Having an employer than just the random public.
It would. Yep.
Yeah.
If you had an employer and then you educated them on insurance and still got them on a high deductible plan or an HSA plan where it wasn't a crazy financial burden on that with some insurances premiums, and then having a really low cost membership that allows visits and
because there's a lot of people especially in the blue collar field that like me, it's like pulling teeth to get me to go to a doctor. I mean, obviously I was sick for 40 days and it took me until the 38th day to go get a Z-Pack and some steroids. And I kept getting yelled at by my girlfriend. She was like, just go. I was like, nah, I don't want to go.
I don't go either.
I hate it. I go to you and I enjoy it and you're nice, but then I feel uncomfortable because like it's always late when I get there. and the last time I didn't go to you because it was like 4:45 and you close at 5. I was like, if I go, he's going to be there late.
If you call, I closed at 5 and I just saw my last patient. I think that's the benefit.
But I don't like to do that. You know what I mean? Like I don't like to make somebody stay way late.
He was going to see me on Christmas 2 years, 2023.
That's what separates the employer-run businesses versus independently run practices, as we appreciate your business.
Yeah.
You guys are helping us. And so I acknowledge it, and no problem for me.
He just told me to take some vitamins.
Zach told me for the last 60 days to take vitamins. Are you taking your vitamins?
And guess what he's not doing?
Not taking
I
his
mean,
No.
off and on.
He's one of those that he won't be sick, and then he'll get sick, and then he'll come tell me, like, you've been taking your vitamins? Well, it started when he got sick.
Awesome.
Well, yeah, I've been taking all kinds of emergency packets. They're awesome.
But there is this crazy, like, freaking 90-day cough that's going around.
I think my son's
Sounds
got
like that's
that.
what you got.
It's bad.
What
Whatever I've had
Walking pneumonia.
That's what it is.
Atypical pneumonia, yeah.
Any other symptoms?
It's just this lingering cough.
That's
it
it?
just won't go away. And it's just
I think
like
that's what Christian
So
has.
I'm getting like wheezing, like I have wheezing and it,
Yeah.
like I'll breathe and it feels like it's gurgling, but nothing is coming up.
Yeah.
I can't clean my lungs.
those are the exact same.
I have
same.
some head sinus a little bit, but not a lot.
Yeah.
The worst was coming back from Denver, but I think that was all elevation related. But
Yeah, those are my intimidating patients right now because literally you try everything, even traditional medicine, and it's just like
I was just telling
nothing
him
you can do.
I was just telling him I took a Z-Pack and a prednisone, so your steroid deal, and I felt really good through that whole thing. And now I've been off of it for a day and a half, and it's like, this shit's coming back.
Right.
Like I can just feel like it's not there. I still feel better than I did for the last month and a half, but
You need to go do some.
it's frustrating.
Listen to your lungs after the podcast.
My girlfriend's listening to him. She's a nurse. She works
nice.
she actually works at DaVita.
Oh, nice.
She's a dialysis nurse, but she finally, she's done it like 3 or 4 times. She's like, your lungs sound fine, but she can sit there and hear me wheeze.
Interesting.
So like, and I've heard myself wheeze just sitting there watching TV. It's like, I don't know what to tell you. That's why I literally have everything. It's just death. I have death. That's what.
Just tell him to take his vitamins.
Just take your vitamins.
Vitamins ain't gonna work. Vitamins don't work. I ate enough beef. My amino acids are in there.
Any like good new technology in your field over the last year? Is there anything cool?
There's a lot of I got approached recently by a vendor for
Black
a lot
market?
of different modalities. Black market. No, but I don't know. I need to have more time to really research those types of things, and when I do get approached by those, but probably I think since COVID, definitely more of the just different approach to medicine is probably what I'm more focused on. But yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of new modalities. What I really want to get into is like hyperbaric oxygen and doing ozone, stuff like that. So that's probably the technology.
What's ozone
So ozone is
in the medical term?
it's a gas you can create. So it's 3 oxygen molecules that this machine can put together, and you can actually administer it into a patient. And it's very permeable. So it cells are, once you administer it, can get down to pretty much the smallest of areas because of it being a gas. And whenever you add any sort of oxygen to any area, it improves. And so that's why increased blood flow, how it heals. And so if you add that to a treatment plan to someone who has an upper respiratory infection, they actually get better quicker because they get rid of offending agents a lot faster by supporting their immune system that way. Or a lot of these viruses or bacteria hate being exposed to oxygen. They might be anaerobic, and so you give it to them and they die. And so it's something I want to get into as far as technology. That would be cool to bring to Norfolk.
How's that administered? Is it through like a mask? Is it a chamber?
Interesting you ask. There's a couple different ways.
Probably through the veins.
So you can do vein.
Mainline it. We're going to mainline oxygen now.
There is a vein. You can do that way. Rectally.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to pass on that.
All
one.
right.
I'm good.
So, any takers?
No.
I'm good.
So you can.
I mean, I was just about to say I'm going to hit my high deductible plan on this fucking cold that I have. It's going to happen, but
best.
not if we're going rectally. We're going to pass.
So rectally, you can do nose, ears, vaginas, rectum, or vein. Venus.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So you can do gas in through the vein?
You can't. So what you do is you phlebotomy. So you take blood from the patient and then you ozone the blood. And
and then you put the
and then
blood
you
back
put the
in.
blood administer it back to
It's
them.
kind of like similar to a dialysis machine,
Yeah,
I'm assuming.
same concept.
Pull the blood out.
Pull the blood out,
Add it into
oxygenate it, ozone it, and then put it back in.
Interesting. I was thinking you're just pumping gas in.
I kind of
pump it,
thought that kills
rectally.
people, doesn't it? So that rectal is that what like South Park would call what was the fecal transplant? Is that what we're doing there?
There's
We're
probably-
There's
transplanting the
fecal
fecal
transplants. Fecal
stuff.
transplant is a legit
But does that
thing.
one probably work the best?
Fecal transplants?
If you're doing it rectally?
You'd be surprised how highly absorbable stuff is in the rectum.
Because isn't there? And they said if you drink,
You
like,
could do it vaginally.
like beer, but like somebody drank like Steve-O when he
It
did
is
his whole beer
2025.
thing,
Yeah.
So yeah,
and he got drunk faster,
Right.
Because isn't there like a receptor or something down there?
It's more so absorption.
Okay.
How fast and where absorption
Absorbs.
happens the quickest. Yeah, so
Okay.
rectum you absorb quickly because it's sucked right in there.
Yeah, let me open up my vagina for you. Yeah.
I know. You kind of waited too long for that. It was much fun.
I was right in the middle of a sentence.
Jose thought it was funny when I said it, so that's all I care about.
Well, that's cool technology, though.
Yeah.
We'd have to get the sand out first, but
Yeah. Give me some insights on health insurance and working with carriers as a practicing physician, because I'm sure it's been a little rougher now.
I think it's got some challenges, especially in private medicine. I think firstly is teaching staff, because you'd be surprised how many patients have no idea what they have. So I think starting from there, and then as a provider and a practice owner is just making sure we firstly are in network with them, making sure they're a PPO plan versus not an HMO plan, making sure that we can get down to the extensivity of checking like their if their deductibles are met, and that's something that I teach the staff. But probably the hardest part is the abilities to practice and being able to want to provide a service to someone and not being blocked by an insurance provider.
Is that kind of like a denial type of thing?
Denial. Yeah, that's probably the biggest thing that I run into. That's the most challenging. I mean, if you come in for an upper respiratory infection, it's easy peasy. But imagine if you came in for extreme low back pain.
I think I came in for my ankle.
Yeah,
and I knew they weren't going to pay for the MRI or whatever.
Yep.
And you talked to them, and
Yep.
it had by the time they declined it, which I knew was going to happen anyways, but I was getting better. But
yeah, so
it's some of the, and I'm lucky. I'm single. My HSA covers my out of pocket. Like for a couple years, I've got enough in there. At this point that I'm not, but I know some people it's an issue.
Right.
And
so why would the MRI not have been covered?
So you have to have steps. You have to prove why you're going to order what you're going to order, and each insurance has their own protocols of what it takes to get to the ivory tower of an MRI, because they like have it at such a high standard to like if you get to that point, it's like
those ankle would have had to have been hanging there.
It's like you win something.
Yeah. Which is also kind of crazy, because it's not like we were trying to go to the hospital, because we were going to community, which community already is like 10% of the cost of the hospital, which is asinine to me, and I can't stand it. And it's one of the reasons I hate going to the hospital for anything. They're way overpriced for everything.
Right.
When there's plenty of places that do x-rays and other stuff in town. It's like, come on, guys.
Makes more sense. Yeah. So that's probably the biggest challenge, is practicing medicine versus practicing insurance is what I call it. Because a lot of times you're practicing insurance. It's like, Zach, I think you really need this medicine, but hold on, let me call your insurance first. Oh, sorry, not in your plan.
I heard some stories where some lady was already in surgery, and they were trying to call and ask questions about was it needed.
In surgery?
The lady was in surgery. They tried to call the surgeon.
Well, some physicians have to leave the OR room to respond to these, because you literally have one shot.
Yeah.
And if you don't pick up, it's like pulling teeth to try to get back on with them.
It's crazy.
I'm pretty sure I would rather I'll fucking go into debt and you're not going to kill me.
Right.
Like I'm there.
Right.
Don't kill me.
Yeah.
Right.
I woke up on a surgery table while they were breaking my arm. So I don't want any of that to ever happen again. So
Wow.
they were re-breaking my arm.
It's
Actually,
also like not saying that you did something at work either, right? Because then they'll be like, no, it's workman's comp, not health insurance.
Yeah, there's so many. Yeah, there's no accountability. There's no one you can keep accountable in the insurance world, and there's literally no repercussions either. Like if someone dies,
well, unless you
like even
shoot the CEO.
Yeah, it's insane.
That didn't change anything.
well, like workman's comp, the cheapest thing is death.
Yeah.
Losing appendages is not cheap. Workman's comp.
Yeah.
They talk. It's a kind of a dark joke, but it's probably
true.
want them to die.
Yeah.
It's much cheaper to pay out a death.
Yeah, you got your lifers in there trying everything to try to eliminate them.
That's kind of what it's a hard thing, like with on the employer side or supervisor side too, is like get people to like, you can't, if you got hurt, you got to tell me,
Right.
like, cause I can't just say, oh yeah, he obviously hurt his hand. Like if I don't have video, like sometimes I can go look at the camera and be like, all right, I saw it, but you're in trouble because you didn't say what you should be. You should have told me. Like you can't be doing this. You're gonna have to, like, the minute it's only for your benefit and my benefit too. Yeah, like you just assume that every company is going to pay for it, and some companies are going to say you didn't report it. Right, it's not my responsibility to say you did it on work. Right.
Yeah, definitely will affect you for sure.
So if something happens, you have to.
Yep. Have you seen a carrier that's the easiest to work with for you?
Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Yeah, Nebraska.
Of Nebraska. Yeah. United Healthcare. Down here.
Yeah. Yeah. Is this for? I'm assuming for the same reasons that we just talked about.
Denials.
And
just having to tailor treatment based on what I now know, because it's been 2 months, and so now I know what will be accepted. So it's a learning process, learning curve initially every year, because they switch every year. They have new formulators every year. They have new contracts with pharmacies every year. So you want to go to Walgreens? Up, too bad. You're going to save $50 more just by going to CVS. So, no, I want to go to Walgreens. Oh, sorry. So yeah, I would say that's probably the biggest issue in trying to treat patients, is having to hurdle through prior authorizations,
especially when you're trying to do it the more like the functional medicine type of way.
Yeah, oh yeah, But
do you have hard times with the insurance on the functional medicine side, or are they much easier on that side?
No, it's 10 times worse.
I figured, because you're not doing the norm.
You don't have that because they don't have the pharmaceutical money in their pocket helping them out.
No. So.
Is there kickbacks? Like, can you answer that question?
Like personally,
as a doctor, is there kickbacks from pharmaceutical companies or reps if you sell a certain drug? No.
Nope.
That's not true.
No.
Okay.
They just come up and
used to
do they lobby you?
So they came up with the anti-kickback law, and they came up with a bunch of laws to prohibit and inhibit pharmaceutical companies or any company from trying to buy you.
Are those fairly new laws?
Oh no, it's been around for a long time.
Mm-hmm. I just heard this year at some point in time that there was, not around here, but maybe in bigger cities, that pharmaceutical companies were paying at the end of the year. They'd pay some doctors.
Their reps get paid. So like let's say there's
and they take you. So like,
I'll take you out to eat.
They'll take you out to eat. They'll do this type of stuff. And so like some people, you can't prove. Like it's one of these things, like it's an unwritten thing.
It's
a lobbyist, right?
They're getting stuff.
It's like a government lobbyist,
for
right?
Sure.
Like you're not really getting anything, but
sales reps, pharmaceutical reps, I think they get a cut of each prescription you prescribe. So yeah, they're in there teaching and putting in their time to get you to run a script for them.
What about, like, I'm trying to think of how to say this.
Pharmaceutical companies get annoyed with me and they come to my door. Like, Jose, look at this new product. This is so cool. I'm like, sounds good. Go put it in the closet.
You're like, I got something natural for that.
Something better.
I'm trying to think of how to word this. Is like, I don't remember how it was said. It wasn't surgeries, but it was, you don't prescribe something specifically to keep the person somewhat chronically sick, and they also get paid out that way too. But I think it's the same way on the drugs, because they're just keeping them on drugs instead of actually fixing the problem. So maybe I'm barking up the wrong tree here.
I think what you're meaning, and what I think your meaning is,
I didn't say it well.
I understand what you mean. Yeah. I think is should your provider set goals for you to get you off of medication instead of be a lifer on blood pressure medicine?
Yeah, we'll go with that. That works.
I think that's what you meant.
Kinda. Because
is it
like why find the cure for cancer?
Exactly. So
right. That's kind of what I'm getting at, yeah. And then also the kickback thing on that too. But then we're also going right back to drugs.
Why allow COVID patients to take ivermectin? Nobody makes money on that.
What are your thoughts? So now that all of this stuff with Mel Gibson's come out, talking about how he's got friends that have treated cancer with it. I've personally had somebody in town tell me that 2 people, I'm not going to name any names, but 2 people have used it.
Right.
and have gotten way better using ivermectin. What are your thoughts?
I started prescribing ivermectin day one COVID. I was a huge firm believer, and I still continue to prescribe it. So I've researched it and learned it, and from day one of COVID, when it started becoming more known, I prescribed it right away.
Do you think it's something that could help with cancer?
There is a lot of research on it being useful with, there's a protocol that you can build for cancer patients that includes adding ivermectin, high dose vitamin C with ivermectin, ozone therapy, keto diet. So all that is stemmed around treating cancer.
Is it because it goes after parasites, or what does ivermectin do for the cancer side?
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, cancer is something that continues to replicate in our systems, and so it all stems to an inflammatory process, and so it has a role in helping with a lot of those cellular processes. And but yeah, it is the intentions and the indications would be for those purposes, but it just has a different effect. And
it's so interesting to me.
Yeah,
so
removing free radicals and helping improve blood flow and helping improve immunity will kill cancer cells.
But it's cheap, so we won't push it.
I push it.
I know you do.
It's cheap, and it's almost like the least dangerous pharmaceutical drug there is.
Yeah.
One of the fewest.
I mean, if you came to the door and you said, "Hey, I want to try this," and you got educated on the medication and the side effects and the uses and the indications and the risks, at the end of the day, you're the patient, I'm the provider, and we know what we're getting into. It's a known drug. It's available. I mean, I don't think there's...
It's available unless it's COVID.
Unless it's COVID. And all of a sudden now it's readily available.
Yeah.
Before everybody got crap for taking it.
I haven't taken it. I probably should try to take it, just if I ever get super
There's
sick.
protocols, for preventative and prophylaxis, or during an acute infection.
I'm assuming it's also something your body could get tolerant to, right? So you don't want to.
Yeah, you have to be careful.
We're not fucking horses here.
You do have to have tests run, making sure your liver's okay.
No, I meant
Get your eyesight checked.
I didn't mean it like that. I meant your body could become not immune, your body becomes tolerant, like it does with any medicine. You take too much of ibuprofen, it's not going to work as much. You have to take more, right?
I'd have to look into that.
Or am I saying the wrong word?
I think I know what you mean.
Like if you
build a tolerance
or dependence or a tolerance to it, yeah.
And same thing. I'm assuming you could do the same thing with ivermectin, or no?
I don't think so.
Okay. That's all I was getting at. Not that it was.
So like I'd have a hard time. I don't believe we do, because we do it to our cows literally every single year.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same shit, but the only thing we do is change. Maybe we'll change the brand. So some of the proprietary shit changes a little bit, or we'll change from pour on to injectable, or, that's how you'll change it. And so maybe they create a little bit of a tolerance, but I mean, we do it literally every single year.
That's why I don't take a whole lot of aspirins or ibuprofens or even just medications in general, so that when I do take it, they work.
I pop that shit like Skittles.
I don't.
I'll just take more.
No.
But I don't take them that often. But when I take them,
he's the one making all the pharmaceutical people rich.
Yeah. He's the main line.
I'm big on informed consent.
Informed consent, medical consent, medical freedom.
I'm fine with that. Like, I just, none of this forcing shit on people. If I decide I'm not dealing with this anymore, just give me this. Like, just let me try it.
Right.
I'm big on that. Right to try, informed consent.
Yeah.
That's where I'm big on.
Right.
Don't force people to do anything is where I'm also big on too.
Same. Likewise.
I've done enough unhealthy shit in my life that, I mean, if pharmaceuticals take me out, I guess that's what takes me out. I think whatever I have this month is taking me out, but
try ivermectin. Some people might use it for that.
There you go.
You could be
and take your vitamins.
And take your vitamins.
Vitamins ain't gonna do it. Vitamins, I don't mind vitamins. I just can't remember to take them because it's just difficult.
Right.
It is. I don't know why it's so difficult for me, but it is. It's just, I hate the thought of it. I get into a rhythm
We'll get him a pillbox.
and I'll do it for a while. And I'm
put one
not
in his-
80 years
We'll
old.
put one in his
Come
car.
on.
We'll put one in his bathroom. We'll put one at his work
There you
desk.
go.
Even my Z-Pack and my prednisone thing, I was like, oh shit, I forgot. So I'm taking 3 when I'm supposed to take 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, and 1
Trying
at
to
night.
catch up.
I'm taking 3 and like, okay, in a little bit I'm gonna take 2 more. Forget to take those. So the next morning I'm taking last night's 2 and then this morning's 2.
We'll get him a fanny pack. He can just carry around with all of his vitamins in it.
Just glad you don't have to be on birth control.
Yeah.
You'd be screwed.
Have to set reminders like Kai used
That
to
would
do.
suck.
I want to get your thoughts about RFK trying to get in as Health and Human Services secretary.
Yep.
He went through the ringer today. But what are your thoughts on him coming in to do that?
Yeah, I think that all his support to kind of create a better nutritional environment for a child is definitely, or even for an adult is, I mean, even all the stuff that he's doing, they're doing in every other country except us. So, I mean, you'd have to kind of just, can't be naive to or push too far, knowing that we're the only country that, allows artificial dyes and highly processed foods. And so in that sector, and then having him look into and having him had stuff like immunization schedules. And I think it's a daunting task that he was given, but very necessary. And I think he'll have a lot of support.
I think he's up for it.
Oh, yeah.
The one thing I'll say on the the immunization thing is I always thought the kooks were the anti-vaxxers. I was like, you guys are fucking crazy. Because I always thought about me and like, well, shit, when I grew up, I probably took 8 vaccines as a baby, if that.
Right.
And now I'm hearing these numbers. I'm like, that is just like, what is the HPV A and B or whatever they give babies? Like, they literally have 0 chance of getting it as a baby.
Hepatitis B. Yeah, right
Or
away.
hepatitis A and B. Like, they can't get it. So why are we doing this?
Right.
Like, I get it that it supposedly immunizes them for the rest of their life, but maybe let them do it later.
Right. Yep.
Maybe that's something that we don't need to be doing. And like some of these numbers, there's no need to be doing this in the babies. And I think I just kind of COVID opened my eyes to these numbers. I'm like, I felt bad because I was like, well, I called a lot of you just dumb. That's the way I was.
I think supporting mothers and fathers that understand the importance of having some sort of protection, if it be immunization, is just, like you said, medical freedom, medical consent, and then just educating them and teaching them, and then
at least tell them what everything is going in their baby's arms. Like,
or and if you were wanting them to do it, just tailor a protocol to where it's not 15 vaccines in one freaking day. That can't be good for anybody.
that's what they get is 15 in one day.
I think I think maybe at your 6 month and your 8 months where you get jabs.
It's a lot.
Quite a few bits. Poor kid has probably 4 Band-Aids on each leg and then some on their upper shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
That's asinine to me.
It's pretty rough.
Yeah. So I think you can go both ways. Is okay if vaccines is mandated and we want to have it. I think maybe a lot of support would be towards allowing for a less kind of immediate, the protocols just being a little bit more giving and not so sudden and so many and one time, that I think would probably help the immune system in your body to kind of like focus on one thing and not like 50 things going at it, because that can't be good.
I just don't like that they're getting after him for just questioning it. All he's doing is questioning it.
Right.
Let's just look into it, see where the science is sitting. He's not saying we're going to take it all away.
Right.
Like, let's just at least look at it.
Right.
But, Elizabeth Warren thinks they're going to take it all away and all the vaccine companies are going to go under.
I didn't watch her little exchange, but apparently she blew up or something.
She
like
did,
they had a
yeah.
little
I'm sure we'll
tirade
talk
today.
about it more tomorrow. But
I'll have to watch that video, but I didn't see it happen.
he went through, from what I've seen, he got the worst treatment of all of them.
Right.
So
Yeah,
far.
quite a few of them I saw. I was like, come on.
Yeah.
But I mean, these political appointments, they're all grandstanding. It's all for show, and it's frustrating. And
Yeah.
and we've talked about it a lot. There's a lot of stuff with RFK I don't agree with at all.
Right.
Mostly on the environmental side, but at least on the health side, gotta start somewhere.
Right.
Is it look at last 4 years as health person,
Right.
and then look at RFK just as a specimen alone, and tell me which one's healthier. Like, granted, the one guy can't talk, but his body is not fat, not ugly, just looks good. The other thing was just hideous. Like, that's all I know.
That was the other thing too. They didn't really give him they know he can't speak well.
Oh yeah.
And they were talking over him. Like, give him a chance.
Right.
He was getting frustrated. But going back to the food, so can you explain why the seed oils, why high fructose corn syrup and dyes and all that? Because why is that causing such a problem?
I think inflammation is essentially the root of a lot of evil in the stomach, and then just the way it's manufactured. So not only the effects that it can have on your body, and then also the creation that it can have on contributing to as far as from the cholesterol and triglyceride aspect of it, which is what most of the concerns are regarding those types of saturated fats. Is remember when we eat a food, we break it down, and then some of it gets utilized and stored as sugar, some of it gets utilized and stored as fats. And so I think that's the part that very likely that molecule will lead towards a really bad cholesterol and LDL, and then that is what creates disease. Versus a really good fat like meats, which are on animal fats like your carnivore diet, that is a lot healthier. It's not processed. It's not saturated. It's good fat. Your body sees it, absorbs it better. It digests it better, interacts better in your body than trying to do a manufactured synthetic form, or from even seed oils. So it essentially can have that role and impact in your system. So,
do you follow RFK's view on a lot of that has caused some of the autoimmune diseases that have come up in the last 40 years?
Yep. In functional medicine, that is the root of what and why you practice in functional medicine, is to hush your immune system, because you can wake up the beast in the autoimmune world. And so, yes, I believe that is.
What do you mean by wake up the beast?
So there's some people that are innately, unfortunately, genetically predisposed to having an autoimmune disease. Autoimmune disease is essentially, in some form or another, your body is going to attack something it doesn't like, and it makes it and puts a big X on its back.
So attack something that
is healthy.
Could be good.
Yeah.
Attack something is
Like
good.
thyroid.
Your body will kill yourself.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Like, what is psoriasis? It's an autoimmune disease towards the skin. Why does your body think it's bad? Look into it. It's probably something you're eating. Your thyroid. There's autoimmune thyroid. There's autoimmune diabetes. There's literally autoimmune for every organ in your body, and it all stems to in functional medicine world, it'd be you're contributing to allowing that to happen, essentially. And there is ways to tell your immune system to take a back seat and just chill out. It's hard to change the genetics, but it's easier to help improve immunity, improve your overall immunity, to help not have that happen. So, and that's essentially what he's doing with food. And unfortunately, that those things can be aided by what JFK is trying to remove, and it can contribute to that.
So that's why he's being fought by some of these companies, obviously, right?
Have you ever seen any commercials these days, like pharmaceutical commercials?
I mean,
they're all like
all sports is Pfizer. So.
Yeah.
It's all like autoimmune disease driven. It's all monoclonal antibodies to help towards that. It's like, geez, that's crazy.
So, and I've been, it's kind of something I don't know. A lot of people in the ag world are probably unique to this. I mean, Pfizer, Merck, Animal Health, all these companies have been around my entire lifetime.
Right.
And people are just now realizing what these things were.
Right.
And I mean, I was on the animal health side of it my whole life. I kind of knew about it. And I kind of realized, hey, But I've always known about, hey, they're the same company. They're the same drugs generally.
Yeah.
Most of them are the same exact drug. They're
Right.
just in a different form and maybe just a little
Right.
bit different. But
Can't ask questions in the medical world. A scholar is a scholar. If you tell them otherwise, like in the medical world, you're wrong. It's like, come on.
I think
be
you
so
mentioned that last time.
there's a
Centric.
lot of people
lot
that are
of-
probably doctors that graduated at 70%.
Why Joe Rogan said, like, don't go to your doctor if you're sick. Only if you have a broken bone physically wrong with you. It's true.
So, yeah, Joe said that. Dana White said that.
Dana White say that? Or
So
it was
the one
Dana
thing
White.
I
They
get-
both said it.
Maybe it was both.
The one thing, and I kind of talked about this with my girlfriend, and it kind of frustrates me, and I've gotten way more frustrated. I grew up with a family doctor. Dr. Becker was a great doctor, dealt with us as a family. Anytime we were sick, we went to him, and I feel like as kids, we were way more healthy. Now there's no doctors.
Yeah.
Like, no offense, but like you can't go see a doctor. You can see a practitioner. You can see what's the PA, physician's
PA,
assistants, and all that type of stuff. But you can never go see a doctor. And there's no, I'm not attacking anybody, but like it's hard to get a diagnostician, depending on where you're going. You've done very well when I've come inside and seen you and stuff when we're dealing with stuff. But a lot of places don't do that.
Yeah.
You're not getting diagnosed. You're not getting people spending the time to, hey, maybe we should do something like this.
Right. Yeah.
Instead of
There's a
me
lot
saying, hey,
frustration in that.
I've been sick for 40 days. Oh, check my
Take some
ear,
vitamins.
check the
check
back
your
of my
vitamins?
tongue, and give me antibiotics
Antibiotic.
and steroid.
Yeah.
It's like a $3 prescription cost me $150 to
Yeah.
go get.
We had a huddle with my team recently. And we do huddles every morning now. And I have one with my receptionist and one with my nursing staff. And it's just a reminder to them, like, hey, I have a busy schedule today, but let's not get lazy. It's like, what do you mean? It's like, we owe it to the patient. When they come in here, we give them answers and we examine them appropriately. It's like, so what do? They come in for a physical, I want them naked. If I walk into that room,
I don't want a physical, and I'm not going to be naked.
if they're not naked in that exam room, you're going to get deducted a point and you're not going to bonus. And I want to assess your skin. I want to see if you have an enlarged lymph node. I want to see if you have a airway issue. I want to see your veins. And so, I mean, I could just by a blink of an eye, just look, I'm already starting to diagnose. I'm already starting to look. I'm like, my brain is working. So yeah, that's something that, I think as practitioners, we forget that that's our responsibility is to you guys, and we need to be able to provide good services and give diagnosis and treatments. So we do a lot of point of care ultrasounding now in our clinic. So if you come in, your stomach hurts, let's ultrasound your stomach. Let's not wait freaking 2 weeks to go get an approval. Like there's no sweat off my back to ultrasound your stomach quick. We'll do a quick urinalysis. We'll do a quick lab test that takes minutes. And so, yeah, I think a lot of people feel, and sometimes personally, unfortunately, you come in for a sore throat, we'll focus on that, but there could be other issues going on that you could potentially help them with. So, yeah, that was something that we're working on a lot too, and acknowledge that it's really, really important to make sure that that's being done every day in all your patients.
I like that because you also never know what they're coming in for. It could be caused by something completely different than
Do you
what
know
you're
how
focusing
many
on.
like cancers I've like uncovered from people who come in for a general physical? It's like crazy, and I would have never like even brought it up. So my sore throat patients are weirded out when I tell them to get naked.
But it's just my sore throat.
What the heck?
I've been there. You've not told me to get naked. I appreciate
You're
it. I'm
safe.
good.
If you come, if you have a sore throat, I promise I won't get you naked.
I just had a runny nose.
What the heck? Don't go to that guy. He's a perv.
No, I
He
get
just
it.
likes to see
This
people naked.
weirdo made me bend over and put one in.
They put ozone up my ass.
I didn't come for this.
No, I get it though, because that's what I always complain about is when you go to the doctor and they're only looking at one thing. It could
You're
be
fine.
yeah. So
But yeah, my eyes and my brain has been open to the idea that they're in pain. And I think it helps that it's my practice and I live off my reputation and on my livelihood and my satisfaction. And so I want people to keep coming back. I want them to be healthy too. And so, yeah, it helps having that business side as well. And so it's a great relationship. medicine, private medicine, like you'll see a huge difference in how you're treated from that standpoint to just going to an employee-run place where it's literally a number game. You come in, that's all I'm focusing on because I'm not getting paid else to see you for other reasons. So
Right.
it's unfortunate.
That is definitely.
My conspiracy brain or my pattern brain or whatever, since COVID started, I've been sick for a long period of time every year.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty certain I've had COVID every single year. This probably started COVID. I don't know. But is that is it real? Like, is it happening? Like you just said, there's a 90-day cough going around.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't happen 5 years ago.
Yeah.
6 years. Well, 6 years ago, I guess, basically. Like that was super rare that
Right.
anything like that would go around. Like people weren't getting that. People were getting influenza A, influenza B, you know, you'd get sicknesses, right?
Yeah.
Kids would get sick, go back to school, the little germ factories would start happening and people like me would start getting it. But like my sicknesses used to last 2 weeks tops, maybe 3.
Right.
And then it seems like the last 3 years it's been
Just
big ones.
more chronic. Yeah.
And I feel like it's all because of I truly believe it was completely manufactured and I feel like this is all part of COVID that we're all dealing with.
Yeah. No, I think COVID's done a couple things for us. One is helping us be more aware of ourselves and having more I think it's helped to be able to realize the fact that there is a very high probability that this potentially was put into place and that you need to ask questions and you need to be more aware and self-aware. And so I think, yeah, for sure, from that standpoint, I could see a difference in my practice is exactly that is I see a lot more people and people are more hyper aware of what they feel and are coming in a lot sooner than what I would usually see them years ago. And so, yeah, I think a couple different, you can go down rabbit holes, like even with your foods, like it's like creating these issues. But yeah.
So people have changed. I'm staying the same where like I've always gone to the doctor at the end.
Right.
Like that's just, I've had enough. I can't deal with it. But other people are going to the doctor sooner.
Right
I'm
away.
just not doing it.
You're just, yeah.
I'm just like,
you just don't take
but
your
it
vitamins.
used to only be
you
like-
take your vitamins, you wouldn't be in this predicament.
Truth.
this is bullshit. Complete bullshit.
So yeah, I agree with you. I think that there is something weird, and I'm glad.
Are you seeing it in your clientele that you're
Yes.
getting way more
Yes.
chronic stuff than you ever had?
Yes.
Because I'm anecdotally seeing it, and I'm not in the medical field.
Yeah.
I'm just seeing it from people I know. Like, this is wild.
Yeah.
So you're saying something is afoot, Dr. Watson.
Yeah. I mean, I saw a lot of COVID, so it'd be interesting to go back to my medical records because I saw a ton of COVID patients.
I've
COVID
never been diagnosed with COVID, but I had it in antibodies from a blood test.
testing that you
I've
did.
never been.
My brother.
I've
and I,
never taken a COVID test in my life.
Yeah, my brother and I had a debate on even asking the question if a virus is actually exists. Like, what is a virus? And so he won that debate. He's a smart guy.
How do you win?
Just being able to explain the fact that viruses potentially don't even exist.
Really?
And
I'd love to hear
sicknesses,
that.
yeah, sicknesses are just compromised immune systems. Your immune system is just low. My argument is, well, how do you get a test time and again show or antibodies? So
Yeah.
but it's interesting. But yeah, there's a component of sickness being just a deficiency, and as soon as you replace it, like you're doing vitamin C by improving your immune system, voila, you're healthy now. So think of that as well as a potential.
Interesting.
Bacteria for sure exist.
I have to bring Trino on.
Yeah, you should learn a lot from that guy.
Going back to the food, what are some like ingredients? We already talked about a few that people should completely stay away from. We already talked about a few of them, but I don't know if there's anything else that people should shy away from, or what do you think?
Yeah, I think, again, it just also depends on your budget. But I think the biggest takeaway are probably the most common types that I see when I see patients with chronic diseases is your highly processed foods, your saturated fats, and so I would say anything that you didn't make or you didn't see the chef make, probably you should at least think twice about it. And then I don't know. There's a lot of
Twinkies that don't change. That's not good for you because
a hamburger. McDonald's hamburger can sit there for a year and never grow mold.
I mean, those things are
They're amazing.
They're crack. They are crack.
We've become what they call an ingredient household. Everything from we try to make
scratch
sure.
or I don't know. It's crazy. You could even like argue, like even like oatmeal not being great for you, and it's like what? It's supposed to or your Cheerios? What? Like what do you mean it's fortified? It's like they add folic acid. Well, it's like what is that a good thing? So I would say, I think if you can make it and it's, just ingredients. I mean, Josie, my wife, the other day said she made some sort of, I think she was making like biscuits and gravy. And she's like, it's so crazy that you made this meal with 3 ingredients. And then you like go and see it at Casey's and it's like 50 ingredients. It's like, what? What is all this crap?
Yep.
So,
It's truly better when it's homemade.
I mean,
that type of
always.
stuff.
in multiple ways. So.
I mean, my grandma used to make when she cooked stuff.
Yeah, there's
so
like 3 or
much
4
better.
ingredients, right?
Yeah.
So then you see your package, it's like, holy crap, what is this stuff? But so I would say the biggest thing is highly saturated foods, processed foods, and then your I mean, there's some people. I think it all stems to like glycemic index spike reactions. Have you guys learned any of that?
You told us a little bit earlier, but
Yeah. So certain foods will cause spikes in your blood sugar.
And that's different per person, correct?
It can vary person to person, but certain foods have a reputation to have that same reaction in every human. So that's why there's lots of push towards doing like a high protein diet to avoid those high insulin, high glucose spikes. That way, because insulin has a lot of different functions in our body, and if you become resistant to that because you're pushing a lot of foods that could lead to resistance, it can create disease. So, I think if you do like a carnivore, a keto diet, or a Whole30, I think you'd be in really good shape and you'd be in chronologically and your biological clock would definitely wind back a lot.
I'm trying. We're trying.
Same.
It's tough.
It's tough.
I'm not really trying.
The cortisol.
In my mind, I'm
I blame
trying.
the cortisol.
In my mind, I'm trying.
Yeah.
But in practice, in theory, I've tried. In theory, let's go. But in practice, it's not quite there.
I know we talked about vitamins last time, so we don't have to get into it this time. And we've given Vance enough shit. We don't got to worry about it. But it's you want to give just a quick rundown of the zinc. Just go ahead and give your little cocktail.
Yeah. So vitamin C, amazing for you. Helps with immune system building. Helps collagen. Helps in those functions. I'm really going down rabbit holes on magnesiums. You'll be amazed how many magnesiums there are. A lot of people who have issues with brain fog, who might suffer from maybe feeling sad, magnesium L-threonate, I've been pushing a lot. A lot of heart patients, high blood pressure patients, I push a lot of magnesium, gluconate and glycinate.
Doesn't magnesium help with the absorption for like the vitamin D and the zinc?
So there's a lot of interplay with them. Yeah, so when you take them, they seem to be synergistic. So you'll see like a lot of vitamin D3 with K2 now. And so what's the whole hype of that? Well, it's the effects of how it helps improve an absorption of another type of vitamin. In the vitamin D3 with K2 instance, it'd be calcium. And so highly recommend vitamin D3 if you're in the Midwest with K2. Your zincs, a lot of research on doing that even daily. A lot of people can't tolerate it, can cause upset stomach, so just be cognizant. But doing like a daily zinc, like 25 to 50 milligrams a day. I've been pushing a lot of magnesium, vitamin C. Been pushing a lot of B complex vitamins, like your B2, B6, B12. think the newest thing that I'm digging into is making sure they're methylated. Have you guys heard of that? So
I've heard the term. I don't know what that means though.
So essentially, when we buy them over the counter and on the shelves, in most instances, you get what's called the non-methylated form. And so manufacturers and labs will make the synthetic form of B12, and patient will take it, and there's cool stuff that happens to where that form then can be converted to an active form. Because when you take it, it has no meaning to you unless your body can make it into an active form. And so there are ways to obtain the active form without having to make your body turn it into an active form, because you can go down another rabbit hole and potentially find that this patient can't do that. And so they're taking B12 and just pooping it out. So
I worked at GNC, that was like 15 years ago. And I paid a lot of attention to the vitamin side of it, but again, I just couldn't take it all the time.
Right.
Couldn't remember to take it.
You'd be a good IV patient there. If you're not afraid of needles, just go and get
I'm afraid of
a
needles.
quick little pump.
IV's not me.
How often do you do that?
You can do it as frequently as you want. They're all water-soluble vitamins. So the biggest thing I probably would be careful with is vitamin C, because depending on how high of a dose you want to get, I do have to make sure you don't have what's called the G6 PD deficiency. So outside of that, if you don't have it, it's free game and you can ramp up that. But all the other vitamins I think it's when you get it, you see the difference, and then it kind of like when your gas tank's on E and you just need another fill. So
what's like the norm? Is it weekly, monthly?
I typically see people monthly. Like my really active patients, my very proactive patients, they'll come in once a month for a drip.
And do they still take so they just come in once a month and don't take them daily?
I'll get them cocktails to make sure it fulfills their needs, their nutrition. Yep. Yeah, I'm building a relationship with a physician in Chicago who has her own compounding pharmacy. And so now I'm going to be able to literally call her and say, hey, I want this cocktail for this patient. And she'll make it with clean vitamins and products. She'll ship it back to me and I just give it to you.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool.
So like after a rough night,
come in and get it. They call those hangover cocktails.
Yeah. I need those.
Just take some charcoal that night.
If I'm
the night before
that morning, or right before you go to bed.
I do have charcoal in my. I'll take it before you go to bed.
Yeah,
it's funny. I was going to ask you.
I do have that in my medicine cabinet.
Yeah. Take some charcoal after a heavy night.
That can also help like flush your system too, right?
It's really beneficial. Yeah.
I was on probation, so I was
needed it.
I did for alcohol.
It can help you.
There's a few things. There's tricks of the trade you pick up when you work at a vitamin shop.
I used that when I had thrush because we were scraping and getting rid of everything in my mouth, and then I was taking charcoal to get it out of the system.
Yeah, you can take it after a heavy night of drinking. But yeah, I am definitely highly, highly invested in learning about vitamins and learning about how to utilize them on my day-to-day. So I have, for patients who come in, great resources and manufacturers that they can trust. And those who have the opportunities, of course. The vitamin world is a multi-billion-dollar company, so you can pay for really expensive vitamins. So I have the opportunity as a practitioner and the owner to pass savings on by having them become members of my vitamin supplier, and then they save pretty decent
That was
money.
what burnt me on vitamins a lot when I worked at GNC. Is beyond that, there is a lot of vitamins out there that are completely worthless.
Oh yeah,
and people are paying money for this, and it does nothing for you. Stop buying this
just
shit.
have really, really yellow pee.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything. You get rid of it. You're not absorbing anything. So and that's what really, really burnt me. And I think that's my mental block partially, is other than me just never remembering to do it, is just I understand, unless you're going to buy the right stuff,
Right.
a lot of it's worthless.
Yeah.
You may get a little bit out of
unregulated,
it. Yeah.
so.
Yeah. It's not like your FDA.
Yeah.
You can kind of, and if you're not paying attention, a lot of it's going to be proprietary blends. You're not going to know what's in it.
Right.
Yeah, that kind of hurt me a little bit. But
Yeah.
I always think of the Hangover scene with the tiger. I could eat vitamins if somebody would just put them in my steak and cook the steak and hand me the steak every day. I'd never forget my vitamins.
Well, he's giving you a thing you can go do monthly.
Well, I
Just
know
go get
it's
a cocktail.
probably gonna maybe happen.
I'm probably gonna try that. I take them every day, but it might be nice just to worry about one.
Never
How long
have
do you
to
got to
deal
sit
with it.
there? How long does it take?
If we get a good vein, it takes half hour.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
I really don't like needles. So.
Just look away.
How's your bedside manner with needles? I need like a stress ball to look at over here or something, and then somebody can I'll just
We can numb your
watch something over here.
Give you a little numbing spray.
Just tell him to watch TikTok over here and do the arm over here. He'll be fine.
Yeah, you'll be fine. Guys do pass out more than women.
I've never passed out from
That true?
needles.
Oh yeah, our guys are sissies compared to women.
I usually
Women
watch
are
my blood
strong.
coming out into the.
Really?
Oh yeah.
You're a rare.
I can't
Rarity.
look at it. I can look at it once it's there, and even though I can look at the needle and know. I mean, I've grown up in cattle, obviously, and some of those goddamn needles are huge.
Yeah.
And then I see the ones they give us, and it's like, and I still have to I have to literally turn my head this way. And I'll put my hand over here, and they'll be like, "You'll hear a prick." I'll be like, "Yeah, I'll do that." And I've never passed out, but
My most comical ever experience with a needle phobic patient was a 10-year-old kid who we had to draw labs on him, and he had this huge phobia. And so I draw the kid's blood, and he does really good. And he stands up. He's like, "Oh, thank God." I thought I was going to pass out. And like 2 seconds later, passes out
Oh no.
and hits his head on the side of the exam table.
Oh no.
Starts bleeding everywhere. The mom starts freaking out. And then the sister at the side of blood starts puking everywhere. So there's like puke, there's blood, and then screaming mom.
Oh my God.
Oh,
How'd you handle that one?
you could not make it up. I'm like, I think this is real life. Check out on this bleeding kid first.
Yeah, what was your priority? Obviously, bleeding kid.
Bleeding
and
first, then
I
puke,
think
then-
mom first because she's just freaking everybody
she wouldn't
out.
shut up.
And then you just tell the mom to leave.
Leave. We'll take care of this. That
Oh, that's good.
should have been in a movie scene.
Yeah.
Probably too
What-
well.
What are your thoughts on mRNA vaccines?
Yeah, I think COVID is one of the ones that kind of tread the way towards that type. I don't know. I think from a biological standpoint and what it's doing, I think it definitely is concerning. I always like to ask questions and read package inserts, and so like even more outside of how we're producing it is also looking at what it also contains. And so, yeah, I don't know. It's scary. It's
What do you think of this stuff about the AI mRNA stuff?
right. I mean, it can't be good. I mean,
That was my thought anyway.
My issue with the AI thing and what freaks me out is I don't think it's good.
right.
I feel like we're headed to our demise. Like that's
Yeah.
my beliefs.
Because the whole point of it was to make it tailored towards the person, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
My beliefs is we're heading somewhere. AI is not a good thing, but do I want us in control of it,
Right.
or do I want China in control of it?
Right.
I sure as fuck don't want China in control of it. So
Yeah, no,
it's kind of that's what's so scary. And as long as we keep informed consent,
right.
that's the key. Is like we got to keep doing this. Like we can't be forcing this stuff on people and not being and stop being dishonest. And that's my biggest thing on the RFK thing. He's going to try to make it so we're not being dishonest because a lot of the dyes and all that stuff, even I didn't really. And we talked about earlier on the vaccines is like the amount of vaccines that some of these kids are taking.
The heavy.
I didn't
metals in
know that was
them.
happening.
Yeah, there's a lot of heavy metals in them. That
Isn't mercury used in some of those?
mercury, arsenic. You'll have lead in some of them. It's crazy. Cadmium. Yeah. That's what I've been doing with a lot of my ADHD and my autistic patients. I've been doing lead level testing on them and heavy metal toxic testing, and it's crazy. It's just too coincidental.
They're high.
Anecdotally, you're seeing the issues.
Yeah. So if you know science, and this is not conspiracy, it's just you know science, and if you submit a growing, healthy brain to those metals, you know the recipe is.
So how do you reverse that? Can you?
You can reduce heavy metal toxins. You can clear them. There's a technique that you can do that's called chelation therapy. And so you can chelate a patient, and there's other ways you can remove heavy metal toxins from the body. But that's the most effective is blood, an IV. There's certain.
You love veins.
Yeah.
I feel like in another life you'd be a heroin dealer.
That vein sure looks pretty over there. Can I see that real quick?
We're not going to be in opium dens. We're going to be in heroin dens. Like,
Let me see that vein.
pop in here, pop a squat. Yeah.
That's funny. But so you've seen that, so we could reverse some of that and not have to use Ritalin and prescriptions, and
That's what I'm trying to do, anyways. Like
Is
if
it
a
working?
kid comes in hyperactive, I'm encouraging the parents to. It's a non-invasive thing.
have you done any yet?
So I've just started doing it. Yeah, I have a special case in Anthro in Omaha where I was given the opportunity to see an autistic child who had probably the worst spectrum you can see, and the mom was obviously concerned because this kid on the growth chart's amazing. He was trending perfectly, beautifully, and then vaccines came across and then completely different child. So obviously completely rocked this family's world with that being their first child. And so she saw a physician in Chicago who's world renowned and did all these testings and found crazy high amounts of metals in his blood. And the only thing, they don't live on a farm, they don't live anywhere where they would even be remotely exposed to that. And look at the vaccines and their ingredients, and boom, there you go. So he's receiving therapy, and they're seeing significant improvements in
Really?
his behavior, his abilities to concentrate. The parents are just ecstatic. And
How often do you have to do the treatment?
they're doing it every 2 weeks. Mm-hmm.
And how long do you have to do that for?
They have a 6-month protocol going
Okay.
that they're doing with the child. Yeah,
And then you shouldn't have to do it again?
that's the goal. Yep.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. You won't reverse probably what's the destruction that's been done, but definitely the end goal. And I'd ask, like, so what would be like the prognosis in this? What would be the end goal? It's like, Jose,
Functional.
functional adults one day. That's all I care about. That I leave this world and I know that my son can go get his own groceries, pay his own rent, and just be happy. I'm like, amen.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So not completely reversible, but functional.
Functional, yeah. Not hyperactive, not sick all the time, not being able to focus and follow tasks and learn.
Do you think that would work on a nonverbal autistic child? Do you think that would take somebody from being nonverbal, not social, to...
The brain is amazing. So if you get all that white noise out of there that potentially these things are causing, I mean, I would not put anything past the brain and the human body's ability. If you can nourish it and you can provide nutrition to it, I would have some hope.
Have you figured out immunity yet?
Vitamins.
Stop with the fucking vitamins. How about a limitless pill? Let's get a limitless pill.
Yeah.
Give me
That'd
a
be
limitless
nice.
pill.
Is there anything out there that's even remotely close? Have you seen that
Limitless
movie?
pill, yeah. It's a good movie.
Is there anything out there besides, like, was it speed or whatever? Adderall? What's the
Adderall,
Adderall?
which
Adderall.
is speed. Yeah.
It's government-made meth.
Yeah.
Is there anything out there, though, that's kind of even remotely close to doing something like that?
So I'm trying to remember again.
Obviously not
The
to that.
movie was the point.
They kind of the concept is you only use 10% of your brain, which
That's
I think
right.
has been proven to be false.
No, I think there is some truth about us not fully using our brain.
But it's not like
Not 10%.
10%.
Yeah,
Like it's
probably.
way more than
Yeah,
that.
for sure. To open up your brain
Yeah.
to potentially
I mean,
opening up more synapses to use left and right sides. I mean, if you see very early onset, like, because they used to do lobotomies back in the day, and they used to have to do these radical brain excision removals, and then you could see a lot of them somehow reteach themselves with using the other side of their brain. But at this point, not that I can think of, other than ashwagandha.
I've heard of it.
I've heard about that. Isn't that
what Aaron Rodgers took?
Yeah.
No, that was. Isn't ashwagandha? Isn't that the one where the breakup drug or whatever they're saying that keeps you from being sad?
So ashwagandha it's linked to memory and cognition. If that could be like the litmus, that's the new hype. So I would say, if anything, it would be probably ashwagandha.
Any side effects? Any kind of?
No.
It's not like a.
No, it's I think it's just a plant, a root, one of the two. Yeah. So ashwagandha and omega therapy, cod liver oil.
Rogers was ayahuasca.
Ayahuasca. That's a drug.
Yeah, you don't want to know.
That's opium den shit.
Yeah.
So I would say probably a lot of people are doing ashwagandha or vitamin magnesium, L-threonate. I think that helps a lot with cognition and memory and helping with the brain.
Every once in a while, I get in like right now, I'm in a little bit of a brain fog week.
Yeah, you should do ashwagandha.
Think so?
Mm-hmm. You might see some.
Is it ashwagandha root or is it like a pill?
It's a pill.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, ashwagandha.
I'll have to check into that.
Yeah, look into that with magnesium. I think the combo is.
I take like a magnesium complex. It's like a mixture of different.
Just send me a picture. I'll tell you if it's good or not.
Tell you.
So the thing that going around with the youngins is ashwagandhas to help you get over breakups and shit. Is what
it helps the brain, so it makes sense. Just makes it think more clear, more.
I knew I saw that on TikTok
less
somewhere.
Emotional.
I was like, where did I see ashwagandha from?
I can see that being a thing.
Usually, if I'm getting schooled by an 18-year-old girl, I'm probably gonna say, "Yeah, that's fucking retarded," but not gonna go with it. But I'll listen to you a little bit. I might try it.
Yeah, try some ashwagandha. I think Joe Rogan's on it.
I'm sure he is. I knew I'd heard it somewhere, but I couldn't remember what it was for.
Yeah,
but we do have some dementia and and that kind of stuff in our family, so it might be something to start taking now before
a lot of the other things
brain.
for brain
it can be in your IV.
Yeah.
Can you put ashwagandha in it?
No. You can do NAD.
You can probably do it anally.
Do some ozone. Methyl blue.
What's methyl blue?
That's a new hype for people who have tendency towards Alzheimer's or dementia.
Methyl blue?
Methylene blue.
If I'm going to start taking vitamins, I need every vitamin I need in this little bag.
It's overwhelming. Yeah, how many are?
Well,
so I learned one. I'm like,
figure it out.
Sweet, got it.
And you just told me I can't do ashwagandha, so that's another thing I got to figure out how to take.
Take that orally.
I can take vitamins orally.
We can have Giselle help you with the figuring out where to put it, so you would take it every day.
Just a quick suppository.
I'm good.
I know a pharmacist that can compound suppositories.
I'm good.
I'll pass.
Might work faster.
Do you remember? Did you ever watch In Living Color?
Which one?
In Living Color. It was like the SNL type show that had like Jim Carrey was on it, and the Wayans brothers was on it.
I saw it a few times. Yeah.
No.
And they had a product called Flatulence. It was a suppository that you could put up that every time you farted, it would be like an air freshener.
That's awesome. Ooh, nice.
Flatulence. I did that as my speech senior year. Was my product I was selling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Glad we got to flatulence. That was great. What? So we're kind of. Is there anything else about your practice or the doctor side of things you want to discuss? Anything we missed? I'm sure there's a lot. But.
Yeah, it's just exciting news of just helping do what's called hybrid medicine, I think, and having it be known that it's available. And I'm not a pro, but definitely learning. And just the modalities that are going to be coming, the technology that will be here that I would like and I'm excited to offer. So red light therapy, ozone, hyperbaric oxygen, more IV options and availabilities, and just more insight.
More heroin.
More
So I think probably that. And yeah.
Do you and Josie, like, do you differ a little bit in your thought, or are you both 100% on the same path?
No, I think we have the same interests in teaching and learning and providing that service. So I don't know. You kind of already see someone that comes to the door, how they want to be treated. Sometimes I feel like if I try to do it independent, and if you could see resistance right away if someone's like, dude, just give me my Z-Pack.
Just give me
I just want to get out of here. Just give me my Z-Pack, which is like, come on.
Give me
just do rectal ozone. It'll be quick. I promise.
I promise it'll be quick.
It won't hurt.
Get naked.
Get naked right now.
God damn it, you're supposed to be naked.
Why aren't you naked? No bonus for you, damn it.
Which nurse dealt with you?
I do make them put their initials so I know
Which one it was.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
That's how I come up with my bonus schedules.
Start giving out golden
Clever
stars.
way, yeah.
That's funny.
So the next time I walk in there, there's gonna be a board with a bunch of gold stars. Be like, that's a lot of naked patients that nurse just dealt with.
Kind of like
I'm
car
gonna ask
dealership.
whichever nurse takes me, which nurse are you? And 2 or 3 stars, perfect. Let's go.
It'd be even better if next time you go in, you're just ready, spread, eagle
just
on the table.
I'll go in for an ankle surgery. Some of my ankles hurt.
Right.
Just, hey, you said naked. Let's go.
Be kind of like car dealerships, you know how they always promote how many cars they sell.
Yeah.
Mine's gonna be prostate checks.
How many?
How many rectal ozones you gave?
I'll be proud of that. Hey, to get a guy in there to have me stick a finger up their butt, it takes that's how I know you trust me.
Yeah.
If you let me in your butthole, like
We're linked
crashed
forever.
So many.
We're linked forever.
Yeah, we're buddies.
We'll meet in the afterlife.
So we still have a lot to get through, but we're going to move kind of past the doctor side, if that's right with you.
Yeah.
Okay. So what are your thoughts on the immigration stance Trump has taken in his first week or so of being in office?
The emotional, political, or the
All of it.
black and white version?
Just kind of all your thoughts. Like,
I want all
if
your
you
thoughts
want
on
to,
it.
if you want to divest in them, go ahead and divest and
Yeah.
We got time.
differ
No,
them.
I think you could see a difference in my practice today because of it.
Really?
Yeah. Just the fear of even going out, and not even, they're all, here illegally, but just the other day I had a patient tell me, he's like, Jose, I'm legal here. I came here the right way. I saw some cop lights, someone getting pulled over, and I literally went left because I was so scared. But I knew I'm legit. It's just like, man, it's just a lot of fear driven. So that part kind of was a little like, it does hit a little bit because it's kind of like, I think a lot of government officials maybe don't have the right intention. So I think it's just how you present it and how you go about it is probably the thing that I would probably wish it was maybe done a little bit better. But I know there's some places where they're taking it seriously and they're taking out all the criminals. And if you are here and aren't supposed to be here, like that part is, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
I do think it is sad that the people that are here legally and have all the things are scared. I don't think they should be. I think that's something the media has put fear in people.
For sure. Yeah.
Because
definitely.
they've said, Trump has said, and in his administration, and even the borders are, Tom Homan has come out and said, we're only going after
Right.
illegal immigrants. And
Right.
I get the fear, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day,
So from an emotional standpoint, it's like the ethics and the morals, like part of it is you can't really have that when there's rules and there's laws. It's kind of like that's the way it is. Like no one's changed it. It's been here forever. So
I kind of, and I talked about it last week on our useless version of it is I look at it as the macro and micro.
Mhm.
Like on the micro, I feel bad for people.
right,
I really do. But on the macro, I also know that we have to have a law. We
Right.
have to have a rule.
Right.
That's where I'm, and hearing somebody say, hey, I'm legal. And then, but I'm worried that bothers me. It's like you are being fed something by somebody
Right.
that you shouldn't be being fed that
Right.
to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what's frustrating to me. And
Yeah.
I feel bad that on the macro, I feel terrible about that happening because that should never happen to somebody. You shouldn't. But I mean, it happens to me. I can be completely legal driving.
Right.
I see lights. It's like, oh crap,
This
motherfucker.
Damn it.
fuck these guys. Like, I'm that way, and I haven't done anything wrong. And immediately when I see lights, like, it's the same thing. I have that same feeling with cops a little bit, but
if you see it the way it is, and that's the rules, that's the law. That's what are you gonna do? And you know what happens when you don't follow rules and laws. It's just like you do it with everyday life. You know, this is just in a larger scale, and it happens to be where you're separating families, and it happens to involve human. And when that component is added to the equation, it's difficult. It's difficult. So
it's difficult, but at the end of the day, with how the last 4 years went, I think it's a little bit needed, too, right? Which it's hard to say that, but
no. But I think at the same time, I think even hearing it from Donald Trump, you know, like just do it the right way,
right?
Like no one is now allowing you in here. It's just needs to be done ABC, and then,
We're all for immigration.
Right.
Obviously, we're having you on the podcast.
Right,
you came from Mexico, right?
I did, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean,
to fucking Nebraska. Like, what the fuck?
I go at Iowa, California, and then Nebraska. So.
Yeah, I think I remember
Slowly.
talking.
at least
about
you got
it.
out of
Why?
California.
Gosh, for real.
Other than the weather over there is nice,
only
but
thing
the
that-
rest of it's
worth.
But so how difficult is? I mean, I don't know personally. How difficult is it to do it the right way?
So I have a lot of patients who I think there's a couple different methods to having it done. We have a lot of Cuban immigrants coming to the United States, and so I think the easiest maybe is claiming asylum, and then having that as a way of entry. The other is getting a temporary visa or work visa.
Yep.
I think those are very common. You see a lot of workers out here who are here working, and then they go back to their families. So that'd be kind of an interesting part. And then I have some other patients who come here through the same processes. They get I think K1 visa. They use it for a year, and then they're allowed day one after a year to apply for their green card.
to start working for citizenship.
Yep. And then after that, I think it's 10 years.
Is there any cost to any of that? I keep seeing some things where there's like the applications, a few $100s.
Yeah,
or,
that plus the cost to get the immigration physical, because you have to have a physical with your proof of vaccines and proof of you not having diseases coming over here.
Proof of getting your ivermectin.
and I'm sure like background checks too. So there's reasons why we do want to do things the right way.
It's a safe. It's a health. There's a lot of.
It's like the reason why we all lock our doors.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's the same thing as locking the border.
Right.
Just we only want to let people in that
just have it controlled and make sure it's done safely. Makes sense.
Right.
Yeah. Logically, for me, it's tough having it here from someone of color, but then with having family and having families being torn apart, I mean, it's tough.
Do you think it's just the education of not maybe hearing things, the fear side of it, hearing the wrong side of media about it, or do you think it's
probably
communication?
The passion behind how maybe some people deliver it? Like imagine being told, get out, getting screamed at, you shouldn't be here. It's like, crap, I wish I would have learned how to do it.
Even when they're saying like the criminals and like they're the only ones that are getting going after, you think, or does that just maybe not get heard? They just think, oh, I'm this certain color or race or from this certain area, I'm just going to be profiled.
Yeah, I think profiling probably. I mean, can't help probably from coming across someone who is of color and not have a little bit of like crap. Potentially I could, at least be questioned. I mean, you see it all the time on social media on having you more likely be asked for documentation and proof when you're of a certain color. But I mean, I don't know. But probably just the compassion and some of the way it's delivered is probably what causes and creates more fear and more of the unknown. It's like, hey, just want to make sure I'm not going to be harmed. My family's not going to get harmed. Like, can there be steps or maybe some advice from someone like someone that can maybe represent or just show, hey, if you're about to be deported, unfortunately, you didn't follow the rules. Like, that's what happens. but here's some aid. Here's what can happen. This is how we can help your family. Maybe just more guidance. Maybe put a lot more people at ease. But
I think if we just would have had that guidance in the beginning, in the last 4
people
years,
who are
didn't
here
happen.
legally know they've done wrong and
Yeah.
they're hiding. So it's not like they're naive
Right.
to it.
So,
Right.
like I'm one of those people that I'm passionate about it, and I've always been passionate about it. In a way, it bothers me because I've known people that have waited years to get in or whatever. Like I know these people like from different, not only just from Latin countries or from African countries or whatever. So I've known these people that have through friends and family and stuff. It's like you're taking forever to get here, and it sucks, and it's miserable, and it's people have gone through this, spent a lot of money to do it, blah 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 blah. And yeah, I'm 100% on the at minimum we have to get rid of the criminals,
Right.
Like, and then the other argument is, well, technically you're a criminal, you broke the law to do it, and it's fine, and I get it. am also never going to. We live in a fairly diverse area. Like it's fairly diverse. I'll hang out with anybody. I'll never ask anybody anything.
Right.
But like if you fuck up, at that point, I think you probably got to do it.
Sure.
I think employers, it's their responsibility to check status. Like I believe that. It's something I believe forever.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're going to take jobs from right now. We can't get normal Americans to work. So I get it.
Yeah.
Like, and it's miserable, but generally like it sucks. Life's not fair. And I say a lot of that shit, but again, it goes back to my macro to micro. If I'm face to face to a person, that's a micro to me.
Right.
Never going to be that person. I'm going to treat you as a human being. You treat me right, I treat you right. And I'm never going to, it's whatever.
Right.
But you wrong me, then all the cards are on the table, that type of thing. And it's difficult and it's frustrating and it's unique here in your story. Obviously your clientele's a lot different than where, I spend a lot of time in, obviously. So
I think it also makes it difficult to also understand and be in a position to where the government almost makes it attractive and I mean that by like most people who do come over might be a qualifier of Medicaid and might be given food stamps. So it's like, how it might not also be their fault. It's just, hey, like this, when you come here,
you get all this shit.
This is what you get.
That was
this
the
is
problem
what happens.
with the last,
I mean, we had that. It's Fox News, whatever. That's fine, but they had that Haitian gang member literally was saying, "F Donald Trump, thank Joe Biden, thank Barack Obama."
Yeah. So I mean,
like,
at one point, is it like almost, yeah.
There was a certain point because they were saying, they're still paying taxes. Well, yeah, but the taxes that they were paying, each of them were costing
doesn't cover what they're getting,
$68,000 a piece, and it's like,
it's just
And
there's
I feel
no transparency.
It's a micro macro thing to me. I feel bad on the micro side, but I also
you can think logically or emotionally, and then it's reasonable and it's good to think both ways. And so, and it's such a hot topic that. I mean, you're going to make enemies no matter what side you're on.
Oh, we know.
Yes, true. I know. I'm not worried about enemies.
Some people are, I'm not.
See, and like Tom Homan's been talking, he's been making the rounds, and he said it a lot. He said, leave now, self-deport, and you're not going to have a block on you. But if they deport you, you don't get to come back. Yeah. So that's the biggest issue. Like, go deport
do it the right way,
and then come back. Try to come back the right way. Especially some of them say, "Well, I have kids here." Blah blah blah. I get that. That's my personal opinion on the birthright citizenship. I think it needs to go through the course to get determined. That's my 100% agreement on it. Like I'm fine with that. Yeah. Like let's determine that. Let's figure that out. Let it go through the court.
Yeah.
But like when they say, "Hey, my kids are here. I can't go." Well, go and your kids can fight for you.
Right. Yeah.
Like on your behalf from here.
Helpful. Yeah.
Like it's going to be a huge help for you to make that happen. So
I think it's probably lack of that encouragement. It's probably what needs to maybe happen, but who to be the right
only
person.
certain medias are putting that information out there for these people though too.
Yeah.
And they're working, and actually they also came out, they're trying to put opportunity zones in these countries to be, you're going back to a job. Go back there, get a job, build some money.
What Mexico said,
yeah. They're
going to come in. We'll make sure you get.
Or try to get you a job. Try to get you going. and then do it the right way.
That's
So
fair.
I mean, it doesn't
be mad
have
at
to
that,
be
yeah.
as emotional as we're making it.
Right.
You know.
Well, I think a lot of things we can sit here and have a discussion about it, but there are people on social media and things that are way so far the other way. Now that it's happening, they're just like, get the fuck out, blah, 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 blah. I don't care what you are, what you do, who you are.
Yeah.
And I don't like seeing that all over the place either. And it's gotten pretty bad to that. Like, it takes a lot to get me to kind of get a little razzled on social media. And that, like, I'm still going to take my stance. My stance is still the same.
Right.
But if you're here illegally, you got to go.
Right.
But we don't need to throw it back in everybody's face
Yeah.
either.
Yeah.
We're getting what we want.
Well, we also have Selena Gomez out there crying for the criminals that are
Actually
getting
her?
arrested.
Right.
It didn't look like her. I saw that video.
It looks terrible.
I think with the Botox and stuff, she changes that every week.
But her, like, she's whining about the like murderers and rapists and stuff like that. Like, don't whine about those people.
Right.
Like, why are we whining about those people? I'm sorry. Like, if you're convicted, and there's 800,000 of them that have been convicted of rape, murder, or super violent crimes, that at minimum we can get rid of those.
Yeah, I'm
Can we
fine with
not
that.
agree
I'm
on
fine
that?
with- yeah, I'm fine with that.
At bare minimum,
Yeah.
800.
I'm
Like,
fine with it all. If you're here illegally, it's sorry.
if you've been convicted of something, how are you not
And especially if
already
you're
gone?
convicted, yeah.
Like, that's my point. Like, it's an argument, and I don't know. Yeah, I get pretty passionate about it, but
I just think the people that are here legally or are contributing to society in a good way,
I think that's the
and they're getting
argument.
stuff thrown in their face is kind of
I think that's
It
the
sucks,
argument
but
is
I-
the people who are not convicted and
like my thing is that they're not the people that are that I'm saying are throwing it in their face are the people that aren't the criminals. Like they're throwing it in the face of people that aren't criminals.
they're technically criminals.
The ones that are here legally is what I'm saying.
Legally, I would never. Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
that's been
yeah.
being done.
Okay,
Yes,
yeah, I
there's
know that's
nothing
That's
in-
my issue.
there's nothing in place that if you have like a I mean, guys have been here legally for years and years and years,
legally or illegally.
illegally,
Yeah,
and there's no way of being honored a green card for being a good person and working. Is that a thing?
there's
Or
Biden-
the fact
Biden
that
tried to
you
do it.
Came over here legally. That's it. Like,
If you're working, I think would you have to get the visa beforehand, right?
yeah.
Mhm.
Biden tried to do it.
did he?
He tried to amnesty a whole bunch of people right before he was.
What would most people think of something like that? Would that be?
I'm against it
Mhm.
personally. That's my personal opinion because you didn't do it the right way, and you had this amount of time to deal with it.
Gotcha.
You had 8 years of Obama, you had 4 years of Biden
Mhm.
that you could have really worked at it. It probably would have happened, but instead you didn't get it to happen, and you're afraid. I get it, and it sucks. It's miserable. I understand the emotion of it.
Yep.
But you have a chance if you probably went back. You probably have a chance. You're going to get back quicker. You could say, I guarantee you, especially if you have family here
Right.
that are citizens,
Yeah.
it's going to be much easier to come back in. And you're not the first people. If you're not hanging around, if you're not hanging around with the criminals, you're not going to get in on that too.
Right.
Didn't mean to go deep there. We just wanted to kind of at least get your
Yeah.
opinion
It's
on it.
difficult.
Yeah, no,
It's a difficult
It
conversation.
is difficult. Yeah,
But it's nice to have that conversation with people that we know it's difficult with, and then we can still.
I mean, you
be
can't,
friends.
Yeah, it's the truth of the matter is that's like a law and that's the rules, and so you can't you got to put that first, and then
Yeah.
after that, it's just however you want to go about it. So
Right. Got it. We're gonna get. Did you pay attention much to the local election stuff when it was going on?
I did. Yeah, I watched or listened to your guys's. Yep.
Did what were your thoughts on how some of that went down? Some of the local stuff, and then like our local legislature and things.
Yeah. No, I think leadership that we have and are going to have, I think, hopefully have the same vision and goals for the community. And I think for the most part, for what I saw, I think there hopefully will be a continuum of it. So, I mean, of course, with politics, you always have your issues, but
You're never going to agree with everybody
exactly,
Yeah.
it's impossible.
Yep.
on everything.
Right.
Then we kind of already talked about the federal side a little bit with the immigration stuff, but
I do want to ask before we go into
Sorry.
that. I don't think we really talked about how's the, and I I kind of forgot you kind of talked about it before we started, but we didn't talk about your real estate stuff.
Yeah.
How'd that go? How's that going with you? Are you?
Yeah. Love commercial real estate. I do short-term leasing, and I do. I just finished a big build.
Because I feel like we talked something about we were having issues with the government, with the city government, about short-term rental properties, and that all turned out all right. How'd that work out?
There is a pushback on having, if you have a multifamily unit, there is hesitancy and pushback in city ordinance against allowing for multiple units in that same building as a short-term leasing, and that is less than 30-day stint. So,
which would be your Airbnb type stuff.
Yep. So anyone who wants to do that, if you have like a duplex or a triplex, which is the situation I'm in one of my buildings, only one of them is a short term. The rest are long term. The definition is more than 31 days, which at this point, luckily, a lot of nurses or a lot of workers need to be here for months on months. So ends up working out. But
so you haven't had too many issues with it. You've kind of
we've worked
dealt with that.
Yeah, we've dealt with it. And just like I said, had to follow the rules, and that's the way it is. And that's
That'd be your one on Verges, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, I was thinking that you had a path to like argue to change that or something. You were working on
Josh
that.
and I were working towards potentially doing and maybe putting in place an opportunity to allow for that to not be a situation. But I think the argument would be that would significantly decrease or worsen the housing shortage here, because then it's a very lucrative thing to do is short-term leasing, and you make really good money. And so by allowing that, then are we creating more of a shortage by having less availability for people who might be there for a year or 2 years? So I think that's the argument.
Interesting.
I feel like there should be a public debate on that a little bit.
Yeah.
Like have a city council meeting or something. We should kind of hash that out a little bit.
Yeah,
try to figure that out.
Someone's got an out for me, because as soon as I went on Airbnb, I didn't know it was a thing. Yeah, city emailed me the next day, like, "Hey, can't do that." I'm like, well. It's like
Interesting.
Yeah.
So you're not trying to change that? Like you're not working on petitioning that anymore?
I would love to. Yeah, I should get back on it. Maybe I'll talk to the new mayor, and
maybe we can bring you both. He's coming back on, hopefully next month.
Awesome.
He told him to give him a month.
Awesome. Yeah, it'd be great.
As the mayor to
definitely needs to at least be discussed and open to the public.
I think that's something that should maybe be hashed out a little bit to at least an extent. Like the argument of it hurts the housing shortage. I think is not right, but maybe definitely not in your situation, because we went and looked at it that night. It's not the same thing.
Yeah.
But
a lot of
that's a debate that should be had.
of tourism that comes because of it. Like you can argue, like bringing in huge dollar amounts. Like there's hardly any hotels. I mean, imagine now with the casino in Columbus and other opportunities that are coming here. It's like you're gonna have to place these visitors, these tourists somewhere, and there's only so much hotels that are decent, anyways.
Right.
So I mean,
you're not wrong.
What about the clamping? The clamping. How's that going for you?
That one's kind of been put on the back burner, like significantly.
That extra kid just did it.
Was that due to that, or is that due to like city ordinance stuff again?
Yeah,
city ordinance stuff. I figured.
Yep. So again, having to deal with what can be classified as a habitable area, what can be classified as how is it zoned, and in the vicinity, is there an opportunity to make it a short-term lease? It's just not a lot of guidance, in my opinion, towards knowing that type of information.
Because wouldn't those be semi-temporary structures anyway?
So the way we would create it would be permanent.
But you could
just lift them up.
I just feel like,
because I think there's probably some loopholes with being semi-temporary.
You could put tires on them. There is ways. So we have a property in Fremont where to avoid that. Yeah,
Yeah, so there's ways around
you
it.
could put wheels on them and move them 5 inches every like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Fulfill the.
I just feel like if they want to get after this brown water rapid so good that maybe we should have something like this. It would probably be a better
be
draw
cool.
than that.
Yeah.
Like maybe you get people to stay
Right.
instead of just come tube and leave.
Geodescent dome and a A-frame.
And then that amount of money each person spent could be much higher.
Right.
Yeah. It's still there. It's still on our horizon. It's just.
I mean, that's something that I would think about doing. I mean, the way you explained it, I think that'd be kind of a cool.
They're pretty cool from what the models you showed me.
I have the concept. I have at my 501 David. I have a prototype.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
We'll have to come
My
check it out.
backyard. Yeah, go look at it. There's one in my backyard I built out. Amazing.
What about your Brosh property? We still looking for
So looking for a tenant, looking for someone that would be a restaurateur. But yeah, I've been so
Did you have
preoccupied
somebody
on
lined
the
up?
matter. I did. Couple actually. But
Quick story. I told him, but the first time I'd ever heard FOMO was on that podcast.
not really. Yeah,
And I didn't know what the fuck you guys were talking
So
about.
for the first hour we were talking about that.
You kept
He had
saying FOMO.
He had
and I
no
was-
idea what you were
What the
saying.
fuck is FOMO? I told him about it like a month later. I was
Blew
like,
me away.
dude, I just found out what the fuck Jose was talking about because I had no clue what FOMO meant. I just like going along with it.
yeah.
FOMO. Yeah.
Yeah.
FOMO. Yeah. Missing FOMO.
No, I
Thought
could
FOMO
see
was some sort of steakhouse.
it would be a good name.
Yeah.
The FOMO Steakhouse.
Steakhouse.
Yeah.
There we go.
Might get.
I might start it.
I
We
got,
get
I got a
charged.
space.
Got the space.
That's good. That's good. Any other? I mean,
I think I probably before the glamping, I think the downtown building is probably going to take precedent.
Really? Over the glamping thing.
Just because downtown is growing, I don't want to have FOMO.
well, that and it's already
I know what that means.
a building sitting there too,
Sitting building,
empty.
Yeah. Could create opportunities for someone, and
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I think that'd be kind of cool, especially with maybe in sync with the Ho Chunk finishing out the hotel downtown. Maybe we can
Figure something out.
figure something out.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
Moving back to the federal questions. Now that the election's over, what are you most looking forward to going into the next 4 years?
I think transparency, probably just being essentially hoping and keeping accountability. I think there's going to be more accountability. I think there's going to be more transparency. I think there's going to be more people held accountable. I think that that's what we need. And so I'm looking forward to having that and being able to see it transpire. It's going to be awesome, like from the government level and from a lot of different sectors. I think it's going to be good to have people try to explain why they're doing what they're doing and just calling them out if they're doing something completely out of the ordinary and just taking out all the unnecessary. And that's creating a lot of issues financially and et cetera. So I think probably that part is I'm really excited about is
I think the first 9 days have been pretty transparent.
Yeah.
if I'm being honest.
yeah. So all that is I think is for me is I'm really looking forward to it.
Good.
Do you have a specific vector or industry or something you want the most? You're looking forward to the most transparency from?
Insurance companies,
I like it.
insurance,
I kind of actually thought yours would be health, but
insurance, yeah,
insurance. I like that. Mine's more on the justice.
Health insurance, right?
health insurance.
Yeah,
Yep.
I can
Health
see that.
Insurance, yeah. Just
Mine would be on the.
why is the CEO getting paid $240 million? Like what?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And why is my freaking X-ray not approved? That's
yeah,
$10.
that's
Right.
asinine. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. No, mine would be probably the justice system. I want more accountability in
Yeah.
judges, police, everything
Yeah.
from the top to the bottom. I need more accountability in that.
Yeah.
And I think that's possibly going to happen.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Do you think all those things that he's been set out to do that he'll actually be able to fully accomplish?
I think he's got a lot of support, and I think, I mean, with every presidency, obviously, it's the mission to get a large amount of people to agree, and I think with that in mind, I think we could make some massive changes. So probably not all of it, but definitely a majority of it, and hopefully the important parts of it that will hopefully improve the economy and lower prices, create more jobs, and will just allow for more freedom to happen, allow for more medical freedom even in that aspect, and just being able to make sure that it's known that if you're not following the rules, like there's going to be consequences and you will be held accountable. So yeah, I think the majority of it.
I would agree.
Do you have faith that the powerful, even in the medical field, like pharmaceuticals and insurance, do you have faith that people will be held accountable? Or because I look at it and I keep seeing wins, but I also am like, man, it's just not, I don't know that it's going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, that's not even been touched on, I don't think, very impactfully. Sure, someone got murdered, but there's literally nothing that came about that.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's when I first heard of it, is it bad to say that I probably wasn't surprised, because I can't imagine how many people died or are dying because of insurances. There's got to be someone out there that's just raging. So, I mean, to a certain point, a human, you can, when it affects them that much and there's that much pushback and you're literally paying your premiums and you're maybe not even used your insurance, and then you all of a sudden get dictated on how you get treated or what medicines are available based on a certain plan. It's just ridiculous. So
I think it also comes down back to the food too. The whole system's screwed up.
Mm-hmm. It's not a prevention-based model. It's a reactive-based model.
Which is why health insurance has gotten so crazy.
Yeah.
Because, as RFK put it today, why should somebody, going to the social side of it, where we have universal health care, he said, what if you have somebody that's been smoking for how many years, ends up with cancer? You want everybody to pay for that?
Right.
So, I mean,
he kind of shows that.
Yeah.
At that point.
Yeah.
So, which is what we're at now. Still at that, because it's all group-based. Yeah, you might be with United, but everybody with United's all in a group, and you're paying for the people that are chronically ill or whatever. So,
a lot of employer-based programs too that I think hopefully a lot more will look into that too. But then if you run into a chronic patient, kind of it's just hard.
It is, definitely. We've been starting to play a game the last probably 6 episodes called Would You Rather. So I'm going to ask a few questions.
Okay.
And then you just give me a would you rather on either one. Would you rather live a long life with average experiences or a short life with incredible experiences?
I'm scared of dying. That's a good one. I think probably live a short life but have amazing experiences.
That's what we have both gone with.
Yeah, I've always gone that way, because I'll say it again, but I'm always take years off my life, not life off my years. I kind of live by that motto. I always have felt that way.
Yeah, it's a good model to live by.
Yep. Would you rather be able to change the past or predict the future?
Change the future.
Predict the future?
Yeah, predict the future. Sorry. Yeah.
I think that's usually what I've gone with too.
I don't really remember where I was. I always forget where I'm at on these.
Past kind of makes you
predict the future, change the past. Oh, I'm gonna change the future. I don't want to know what's ahead of me. I'd rather, if I mess something up,
have more
fix it.
So change the past?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's where I'm at today.
Today.
Might have been different than the last 2 weeks.
Sorry.
I don't remember.
He's the only one usually that he never remembers what he does, and then he
never
picks something
forget.
new.
Every time.
Would you rather lose all of your memories or lose the ability to make new memories?
I've been the same on this one every time.
Yep.
So lose all the memories I had.
So
or
lose
never
all of
be
your
able to make-
memories. Yep.
Or you don't remember
Right.
what happens from here on out. It still happens. You
How
just
old am
never
I?
remember it. Right now.
Just right now. Probably keep my memories.
That's what we usually say. Yeah, that's kind of what made you and what brought you here.
Yeah, exactly.
Making new ones is you don't know
Yeah.
what they are. So
Exactly. Yeah, probably
It kind of
keep them.
changes, like it conflicts with my changing the past, but I'm still going to keep the old memories.
would you rather listen to one song for the rest of your life or never be allowed to listen to the same song twice?
Never be allowed to listen to the same song twice.
So you'd rather listen to one song the rest of your life?
Oh, sorry. The other one.
Oh, so you want never be allowed to listen to the same song twice. You said that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's where I'm at too. I love music too much to not be able to hear new music.
Yeah, I'm not usually stuck on one thing.
Yeah,
all the
he
time.
flip flops on this one.
Does he?
We'll see where he's at this week.
Where was I last week?
You were on the one song. You could only you stuck with the one song only.
I seriously said that last week.
You did.
I think I heard you. Yeah, because I think I was with.
I think you even picked the song, but I can't remember.
I think I remember hearing you say that. If you would have taken your ashwagandha, you probably would have remembered.
I take my vitamins.
Take
Yeah.
your damn vitamin.
I'm going to go with I'm going to
Drum roll.
switch it. I'm switching it. I'm going to listen to every song.
Okay. Perfect.
I don't know why. Just today, I just don't want one song.
He must have listened to like one really good song and been like, I want to listen to that again. And then that was that.
There
answer
was
for
a
the
new
week.
song this weekend, Holy Ground. I probably listened to it 100 times. It was Jesse Murph and
Oh,
something the plug, whatever his name is.
oh, Big X the Plug.
Yeah. Great song. I
Would,
listened to it a lot.
did you? Would you rather have no internet or no cell phone?
No cell phone.
That's usually I go with too.
Yeah, no cell phone. I think.
You could
That's where
always-
I'm at today.
You've always said no cell phone, so
Have I?
let's just stick with no cell phone.
That's where I'm at.
you could always e-message and stuff like that. So
Oh, we figured there could have been a different watches could still exist.
Oh,
You
yeah.
could still, if you needed like life alert type
Right.
of thing.
right.
Would you rather eat fast food every day or never eat at any restaurant again?
Probably never eat at a restaurant every day.
That's the one that I take too.
Oh.
I'm at fast food every day.
Yeah.
'Cause I love food too much,
Yeah.
and I love good restaurants. So the reason you can do this is you can eat fast food. That doesn't say we got to eat. I could get a JBC once
Sure.
a day, and then I can every once in a while I can go to that good restaurant
Sure.
as long as I eat
Sure.
something
Fair
every day.
Fair enough.
Would you rather always speak your mind or never speak again?
Speak my mind.
The same way. I kind of already do that. So
You guys have to. That's your job.
It's not gonna- I can't be silent for the
Yeah,
rest of my
that's-
life.
yeah.
You wouldn't have a podcast.
No. Would you rather be able to speak all languages fluently or be a master of every musical instrument?
Never been a musical guy, so probably language.
I'm a language guy. This one I've never changed on. It's always been language for me.
Mhm.
And I always pick instruments.
And there's only been one other person that's ever done instruments with you.
Henry. Yep.
Yep.
Henry
Because it
Santos.
fits mostly with my
No,
professions.
too. What's he did last week too.
Oh, Brett did too?
Brett did last week.
So I've had 3. We've had 2 other people do instruments with me.
Instruments, yeah.
I just love music. And I played a few instruments in my life, and I just would love to know all of them.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it fits mostly with what I do, like in business and medicine. Just if I could speak more language, access more people.
I'd rather
No.
be able to speak every language.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Plus, you speak 2, or do you speak 3?
I mean, I can come with confidence speak too.
Gotcha.
I took German in high school, so I could probably
Try.
Hey, I took Spanish in high school.
Yeah, I could.
I can say "Donde está la biblioteca?"
So I probably have your level of Spanish and German.
Perfect. That's what I enjoy. I'm not the only one.
I can ask for.
I passed it. I passed 3 years of it.
I took German in high school, but I remember everything. It's
Do you?
crazy.
Yeah.
A part of my brain.
Yeah.
Trying to learn some Korean. There's a country, Burma, where we have some patients that come in. So I always ask them to
Help you out.
teach me something.
Interesting.
But I'm not a pro. But
It's all right. Would you rather have a photographic memory or the ability to forget any painful memory instantly? The photographic memory might help in your line of
heck
business.
yeah. Oh yeah, definitely that one.
Yeah.
Lots of naked people.
A lot of rectums.
A lot of prostates.
lot of fingers and buttholes.
I think I usually go with the photographic memory on that one too, because I don't want to forget painful memories, because that's what brings
Makes
you where
you
you're
stronger. Yeah.
Last one. Would you rather not be able to speak for a month or have to speak every thought that comes to your mind for a week?
Oof.
This is every thought that comes to your mind.
Dangerous, yeah. Probably not speak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For a month?
Yeah.
I said I could lock myself in a basement for a week.
Oh, just start that.
Yeah, we made our own rules. We're
I was
gonna
gonna say,
just,
if you had that type of rule, then yeah,
we're just gonna lock ourselves in.
be kind of like
We're taking a month vacation. You're in a room by yourself.
so you're not like a Tourette's patient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or no, I want the other way. I'm gonna lock myself in the basement for a week.
Yeah.
So I'm taking the week
Yep.
of saying everything I have to say,
Yep.
and then not
Let's see what happens.
be silent for a month.
Yeah. Well, what'd you think? That's the show.
Yeah, it was awesome. Great place. Yeah, learn from you guys all the time from your guys' podcast and the new guys you guys bring on. So it's awesome.
Well, we always learn from you when you're on here.
Yeah, glad to help. Had a lot of patience because you guys come in. So
That's
Did you?
awesome.
yeah,
That's great to
seriously,
hear.
yeah, people that
good to know.
listen and say,
I will tell you, a lot of when we ask people their favorite episodes, yours usually gets brought up.
awesome. Yeah, I've gotten some.
I came in because you, I swear, or because you came on the podcast.
Yeah.
That was the reason I came in.
Yeah. Just the other day, I had someone. It's like, I heard your podcast, Zach's podcast, you guys' podcast. I'm like, oh, sweet, awesome. I have to tell
That's
thanks.
great.
You guys a punch card.
Yeah, I get a punch card for it. Do we get gold? Do we get gold stars too?
After the fifth one, you get
I don't want gold stars because that's naked people. I don't have the gold stars.
after the fifth one, you get a free prostate check.
keep the punch card.
Yeah.
We're good.
Tell the people where they can find you.
I got 3 locations now. So 1414 North 13th Street here in Norfolk. If you want to come at Nebraska Health. In Omaha, it's Anthromedical. We're on 2002 Vinton Street. And then in Columbus, we're at 2107 23rd Street. So
And the
good
one
number.
here in Norfolk is kind of tucked back behind.
we're
so
behind. We're off of forgot what highway that would be.
81.
81.
Highway
So
81, right?
13th Street.
13th Street, right behind Midwest Health Partners. Big white building, can't miss it. Yeah, love to see you.
Perfect. Thanks to my co-host Vance Nida. Without him, the show would not be what it is. Huge thanks to Dr. Nuno. Really appreciate you making time for us today.
Appreciate it, guys. Thanks so
Thanks.
much. Yep.
Keep on the lookout for more great episodes, and we'll see you guys next week.